If I know porn,
If I know porn.
it always starts with an F.
No, it usually starts with a D. This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 47 for the week of December 4th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez.
Hello.
And Justin T. Lopez.
Good morning. Or good evening. Or good night.
It's morning, night, or evening for someone somewhere.
Entire thing. Whole thing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
No, it's good morning, and if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
There you go. See, you nailed it.
No, I know.
But
I wasn't trying to plagiarize Sir Carey.
He's not a sir, is
No,
he?
I know.
What
No,
is this
he's
from?
not.
What is this a reference to?
The
Don't
Truman
tell him.
Show.
Nope, don't tell him.
Truman Show. Okay.
Is not what
He
it's
works
from.
at Alamo Drafthouse. Watch movies.
I won't. If I haven't in 3 years, it's not going to happen.
It's from Liar Liar. It's not. I'm lying.
Yeah.
You already gave away the real answer, I think.
Or
Did he?
It's actually from the number 23.
So how's everyone going?
That's a good movie. That's actually a pretty good movie.
It's not
Here's
bad.
the section on our show for random stuff.
So far, it's all been about Jim Carrey.
My dad hates Jim Carrey
Why?
because he's Jim Carrey.
Because he's a liar.
Have you seen Liar Liar?
As a kid, like really young. I remember the scene that stands out to me the most is the one where he's in the car and the cop pulls him over and he's like saying all the different things he did wrong.
The only reason that's in your mind is because they made fun of it on Family Guy. And you love Family Guy.
Oh, you're not wrong. But I also can see the scene because isn't he driving like a beige like convertible car?
I think so.
Sure. Probably the exact same car that he was driving in Family Guy.
That Peter was
Yeah,
driving.
that
and
Peter
he's
was
like,
driving in Family Guy.
Well, it's like
speeding.
it's weird seeing movies that you saw as a kid again. Like, you know that I can't remember the name of the fucking movie. But it's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't say the name. Schwarzenegger. And he has like it's like the Christmas movie and there's like the superhero action figure that he's trying to get for his son. It's like a red superhero.
You got it. You got it. You can do it. You got
I
it.
don't. It's not there.
Jingle all the way.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah. So I
Thank you,
Thanks,
F.
Everett.
last Christmas I had seen that as a kid, like maybe when I was like 4 or 5. And my dad was watching it on TV and I sat down and was watching it with him. And it's weird how
Horrible it is.
it wasn't great. But it was weird how like I had seen this movie as a kid. So I didn't remember anything of it, but as I was watching these scenes, it was like watching them for the first time and the second time at the same time. Like I suddenly remembered that I remembered this, but I also like hadn't had any like concrete memories about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
You really are a millennial. Everything amazes you people.
I think I enjoyed
You
it
people.
more. I think I enjoyed it more because of that aspect of it. I think if I'd watched it for the first time, I would have been like, why is Governor Schwarzenegger in a movie?
Because that's what he did before he was governor.
Just like Ronald Reagan.
And before that,
He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, he was Mr. Is it Atlas something?
Universe.
Oh, was he Mr. Universe?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know he was Mr. Universe.
Isn't it weird, like the difference between Mr. and Mrs. Universe? Like Mr. Universe, you have to be all like big and ripped and strong, and Mrs. Universe, you have to be like petite and like not strong.
I don't think that's true. Are you thinking of Miss America?
Yeah, I think you're thinking of beauty pageants.
Oh, is Miss Universe a bodybuilding one too?
Yeah, the universe
Oh.
competition, I think is.
Probably. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe.
Also, how do we claim Mr. Universe?
It's a bold statement.
We don't know what the fuck is out there. Something could be way cooler than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Two Arnolds just on top of each other.
It's like a split body. So one of the fun things about DMing for D&D is that, especially, so I've been reading through Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and the cool thing about that book is they literally use like every monster from the monster manual in there. And so looking up these weird creatures and figuring out how you're going to incorporate them is weird. Like there's this thing, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a 2-headed troll. And the encounter is basically like there's like 2 or 3 of them in a room. So technically there's like 6 things in a room, and I don't know if they talk or not, but it'd be real weird if like there was like 3 creatures with 6 heads all standing there talking to each other.
Just having a podcast or something. Like,
Yeah.
welcome to Troll Time. Brought to you by Trolls.
What?
What?
Yeah, you're right. They are Ettins. If you guys haven't listened to us before, we're a podcast about video games. We record weekly, and we are up on Wednesdays. You can follow the show on all your various social medias. But today we can start the show with the same segment. Chris, what are you playing?
So Trey and I live together, and I don't think in the last 2 weeks we haven't had a conversation about D&D.
Back to that.
Yeah.
Back to that again.
That's
We didn't talk about it yesterday.
Yes, yes, we did. I tried to ignore you while you came into the room, and I was like playing Red Dead.
Why were you ignoring me?
Because you won't stop talking about D&D.
I put up with all the random things you want to talk about
Random things
that are usually the same
It
thing.
is not the same. I
Man.
never talk about.
Do you want to
the
listen
same
to like
thing
8
over
weeks of this
again.
podcast in a row?
I want to take a clip of what you just said about like, oh, you want to talk to me about D&D all the time, and like superimpose it onto the beginning of this year, whenever it was just nonstop D&D with you.
Justin, let me give you an idea. Let me give you an idea of this. Literally every conversation I've had with Trey in the last 2 weeks is D&D. If you and I, who talk maybe just as much as Trey and I do, this whole last 2 weeks we've had random conversations about random things. So your idea, sure, it works in hindsight, but it doesn't. It's not the same. Like literally every conversation I've had with Trey over the last 2 weeks has been D&D. That's it.
He's found his
He
passion.
doesn't play video games. No, actually, none of you play video games. I need to find new friends to play video games with.
It's false. I played with you.
You played for like 2 hours this week at the most.
Not true.
How many hours did you play video games this week?
With you?
In
Probably like-
general.
Like 6.
And what did you play?
Red Dead and Overwatch.
Oh, you played Overwatch. What a douche. God, what a fucking douchebag. You're that side of the internet.
The majority side of the internet.
Yeah, basically. I've been playing Red Dead Online and Destiny 2.
Hey, who'd you play with?
Nobody. I don't have any friends.
It's not true.
I have no friends to play Red Dead Online with. And Destiny, I played a little bit of Destiny 2 before I got here this morning. Not this morning. This is the evening. I played like 2 hours of Destiny 2 because
Black Armory.
Black Armory. I was gonna say Black Forge. Then I thought Brown Armory, but neither one of those was right.
Close.
Yeah. Black Forge came out, and whatever. Just whatever.
You tried.
It's fucking whatever. It's just so they give you the initial like, hey, here's this. Go do these quest steps. It's like, okay, that's cool. I'll go do all these quest steps, and it's neat, and I'm doing the things, and I'm working toward what I believe is light machine gun. And it's like, okay, cool, this is neat. I'm doing this thing. There's a whole new part of the tower that opens up, and the Lady Exo is real cool, and you do all these things, and then you do all these quest steps, and it probably takes like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, however long I was playing. I think from 3 hours. It takes like 2 to 3 hours to do these quest steps. And then, the tried and true Destiny thing was like, oh, you're done with these quest steps. Now go talk to the quest giver lady. You talk to her, and then there's more quest steps. It's like, why can't you just call me? Like, we have, like, this is the future. Just call me on my cell phone or call me on whatever communication device Zavala tells me that whether we like it or not, we've stepped in a war with the Cabal. Whatever he uses,
right.
You use.
You have a ghost.
Exactly.
You would think the ghost.
So I go back to the tower, and I'm talking to her, and she tells me the things, and she's like, okay, now go do the actual thing that Black Armory is meant for. Go do this thing. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go do this thing. And it match makes, which is awesome. It's like, I don't have to go find people. I don't have to like go with it. I like believe in Destiny's like romantic idea that everybody's going to be doing everything. So it just organically start playing with people, because that's not how video games work, especially Destiny.
Okay. You got me hooked. I'm with you.
Yeah. So now we're going in and we're doing this matchmaking thing. By the way, the quest steps earlier on were kind of fun. I found out the best way is probably escalation protocol to do a lot of these things. So it gave me a reason to go back and do this stuff, and it was fun.
Okay.
I was actually having fun for 2 hours or so. Got an exotic to drop that I didn't have before. I got Wave Splitter, which is the PS4 exclusive. I think Trey got that like super early on.
Yeah, one of the only exotics I've gotten.
So I got that as an exotic drop. So I was like, hey, that's really cool. Their exotic drop rate's different. I didn't get a freaking year 1 or Destiny 2 stuff. Hey, this is cool. We're going
having a great time.
I'm having an okay time. The idea of hunting deer in Red Dead Online is still in the back of my head. And so I matchmake, we get into the thing and we load in. It's like, all right, this is cool. I don't know what to do. So I like the idea of like figuring it out as you go. We load in, enemies start popping up and there's skulls next to their name. And it's like, fuck. Shit, this might be kind of tough. Can't do it. Matchmake, can't do it. I get killed, and I get the idea. It's like, oh, let's just see what the power fucking requirement is. 615. I'm 580. The majority of Destiny players are below 600, other than fucking streamers who have the time to go do the fucking raid. So now I can't do the fucking Black Armory that I fucking paid for. Because I'm too low a light. So now what do I have to go do? I got to go do the same fucking content that I've been doing or stopped doing for the last, 6 months? Since
No, it's been 3 months.
For the last 3 fucking months. Yeah, you just go do the same fucking thing you've been doing in Destiny forever. And guess fucking what? The only thing I can do to get above 580 is a Dreaming fucking City. So I go do the Dreaming City. Here we go. Do. And I get 2 powerful engrams to drop from the Dreaming City because I got fairly efficient in doing Dreaming City things because we did it for so long. Guess what? 2 powerful weapons. So my light level did not go up whatsoever. Fuck this game, dude.
Sounds like Destiny.
Jesus Christ.
There it is.
So to even do the content of the shit that I paid for, I've got to go back and retroactively play the game like Bungie wants me to fucking play it, instead of being able to play the goddamn content that I paid for.
Yeah, and see, it would be one thing if you had like skipped this content and just didn't do it before, and now you have to go back and do it. Like, you've done most of this stuff already.
I've done everything other than the raid because we don't have anybody to play. I didn't have anybody to play with, and I don't like LFGing because we've gone through this. The LFG, one person leaves, you're stuck there, whatever.
Which I get. I mean, the raid, don't get me wrong, the raid is a big part
of course,
of Destiny.
100%.
But it's not the only part.
Right.
And you have done 95% of the content in Destiny.
Sure.
And now you can't do this next thing.
Right. Well, the stuff that I paid for, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I literally can't do it. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky. I did the armory thing like 3 times before I finally said fuck it. Because so the mechanics of the armory is the forge is actually really fucking cool. You go in and you've got like a 5-minute timer, and you've got to kill glowing enemies, and they drop this ball, and you throw the ball at the forge. You got to do that 20 times, and each ball extends the time. So it's actually a fairly good mechanic of a thing. You know, you're always in a time crunch, but you always have the power to get, a little bit more time and a little bit more time. But if most of the people jumping in there, man, they were like 580. I think I played with like maybe 2 600s. And I did 4 matches. In 4 matches, I probably got paired with 2 600s. And you can't do it. You literally can't DPS people down in time, especially if you're not using the Ikello shotgun or a sleeper simulant. If you're not doing the Destiny meta, you can't DPS these things down in time if you're below 600. And it's just, I just don't fucking get it. I don't understand. I just don't understand Bungie's thinking of, we want you to play this game the way we want you to play it, not the way you should just want to play it however you want.
I don't think it's that at all, though. I think it's more like we keep having people that are really mad that we're catering our content for everyone. So now we have to cater our content for the people that have grinded for forever to get to 600.
Sure.
And then the argument changes to, well, we can't make things easier because then the hardcore people that we've completely planned our future around are going to lose their shit because everyone had an easier time.
Which is the top 10% of Destiny,
exactly,
not the 90%.
Yeah, but we've already established that that's who they're making the game for.
It's just fucking ridiculous, man, because and again, like the worst thing, I wouldn't be mad about this if I didn't already pay $30 fucking for content that I can't go do. just like I said last week, they fucking tricked people into already doing this. And now I'm literally stuck having this content that I paid for and I can't fucking do it. Because I'm going to have to take the actual hundreds of hours or whatever it is to get from 580 to 615 to do this fucking content. I don't fucking get it, man. I don't.
It's a losing battle. There's no winning, it seems like. But Red Dead.
Like I said, bright-eyed and pissed. That was a joke in the text. I wasn't planning on being pissed before I came here. I really wasn't. I really wasn't planning on being pissed. But, like I said last week, I'll give it a try. I paid for it. Might as well try it. Can't try it because fucking can't play it.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. I would much rather do the monotonous job of hunting deer in Red Dead Online for $1 a piece than to go play fucking Destiny right now. Oh, fuck, man.
Yeah. Well, I played Red Dead Online. I've been playing with Chris and Rich. It's been pretty fun.
It's been a lot of fun. Justin fell off a building and then he got kicked by a horse.
That's what I've been kicked by a horse a lot. But the best one was we were on top of a building. I fast slid down a handrail or down a ladder, land, and I end up right kind of like in a corner of the building, and a horse
spooks
the horse. So I get kicked, but he kicks me into the corner, so I can't really go anywhere. So I just kind of stand up, and then he kicks me again. I'm just like, help! I didn't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
So then last night we're playing, and we're riding, and there's this just random group of horses, saddled horses, just random group of saddled horses on the side of the road. So I go past them, and next thing I know, like Justin's blip just like gets further and further away from me. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know. There's just 4 horses here. Can we take them?"
Well,
I was like, "Yeah, I guess you could."
I was like, you can search saddlebags, right?" And Chris was like, well, yeah, I mean, you can, I guess. So I was like, yeah. So I start searching saddlebags. Like, man, there was $2 in this one. There was some stuff. And then so I'm going and going. And Chris is, off doing his thing. And then I'm sure Chris just hears, oh! He's like, did you just get kicked? He turns and he sees me like getting up, like dusting myself off real quick. Like, no. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm done here.
Yeah. Justin get kicked. I think if we do anything, once we start streaming this, if we have an idea for the adventures of people. Like Rich and I made like characters. Like my character's name is Cullen Valentine. He's this, frontier / bounty hunter guy. He's got this giant ass beard. He's got the gray mixed in because he's getting older like me. He's got the gray in his beard, and he's like, he's like a frontiersman guy. He's ready to freaking just make some money. So we had the idea of Cullen Valentine and his buddy El Chorizo, because that's the way Rich made his character. And he made the most Mexican looking guy you could possibly make. And to top it all off, he always looks high. This is literally the way Rich's character looks.
You have him say because your
background.
This is literally Rich's character.
He made his so the way I described him for
hold
you
on,
listeners.
real fast, just so you guys know, before Justin describes his character, he has like an animated GIF of El Chorizo as the background on his phone.
Because
so every time he
genius,
looks at his phone,
I laugh.
It is just El Chorizo sitting there breathing and like
just
spinning in a circle.
Just fucking high as a kite.
His eyes are super poofy. We're in cutscenes together because as a posse, you get to all be in the same cutscenes. So the characters are talking to me because it's my mission. And then in the background, I just see El Chorizo. And at one point, I'm just like, God, what a monstrosity that is. Just an abomination.
It's just like this lanky, really skinny, long-haired, like...
always slack-jawed. Like his jaw is just kind of always drooping.
So Rich had a really good idea. Well, number one, he's making this very, 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 very Mexican-looking guy.
Also, just for the record, we are all Mexican.
Oh, of course.
Rich is Mexican. The three three
Except
of
for
us.
Everett.
Yeah, Everett. But
Well,
Everett's not talking
You
about
can try.
El Chorizo.
You can try to get mad at us all you want, but it's fucking.
Just so you know, it's
you-
not like a bunch of white guys
yeah,
making fun of
you
Mexicans.
can fucking get mad at us all you can get mad at us all you want. I don't even fucking care. This
Wow.
guy is the most Mexican dude you could possibly think of. He's got the giant mustache, the long hair,
Stereotypical Mexican.
sure,
maybe.
like super like dark. His skin is so dark too. Anyway,
It's
it's
like-
just so good.
It's like if Cheech and Chong wanted to make like a Three Stooges movie,
But that's the thing.
it
is
would
like,
be El
but that's the
Chorizo.
thing is like. Sure, that's a really good thing. So Rich has this really good idea of like, he's wearing number one, he's wearing green pants, which is just genius.
Right.
So then he's wearing this like black black kind of like pullover T-shirt looking thing, and he goes and buys this red bandana. And so I see him walk out of this thing with this red bandana. I was like, oh my God, you need to go buy a white shirt. He goes, why? I was like, because then your head would be red, your middle part would be white, and your lower part would be green. You would literally be the Mexican flag. Go buy a white fucking shirt. So he buys his white fucking shirt. So there's literally El Chorizo with basically Mexican flag clothing on, and he's in every cutscene, and it's glorious.
It's something.
Absolutely glorious.
So they want to make a show about themselves.
Yeah, Cullen
and their
Valentine
adventure.
Cullen Valentine and his buddy El Chorizo.
Before I made my character, I was not told we were making characters.
So his
So I
name-
just
Who the
named
fuck did you
mine
think you were playing
J-Lo.
Red Dead with?
So his name's just J-Lo.
It's J-Lo. But I decided you can just call me J-Law.
Ugh.
Not to be confused with Jude Law.
Yeah,
However.
no one was confused.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was confused.
But he's
Anyway.
the most like modern day looking cowboy. Like,
Yeah,
he
I think
could
that's
just
the
be a
best way to
ranch
describe-
hand. Like,
Well,
like
no, not
now.
even a ranch. Yeah, I don't think that's the best way to describe it. Is if you were to take Justin right now with his current clothes and like sort of like, turn of the century, 19th century, apply them. That's what he would look like.
Yeah.
He looks like the most modern looking cowboy in the world.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I just wanted to put myself in there,
Yep.
and I did it alongside
And I succeeded.
Mr. Valentine and El Chorizo.
You guys ready for the news, or do you want to keep talking about El Chorizo?
You didn't play any games, did you?
No, I didn't play
Okay.
anything.
He also named his fucking horse Tostada.
I named mine Appleseed.
Yeah, then he bought a new horse. And it is the reddest horse possible. Like it is like stripes on your thing
Yeah,
red.
yeah.
It is red. So he named it what did he name? He named it, I don't know how to say pinto bean in fucking in Spanish, but he named it pinto bean in Spanish.
Is pinto bean? Is pinto not Spanish?
No, it's not Spanish. Pinto is a type of bean.
Well, I just figured it sounds kind of Spanish.
It's frijoles.
That's bean.
Something-
Yeah, I think
but
it's
I don't
something
know.
frijoles, sure.
don't know.
Frijole pinto.
Sure.
I don't think it's not. Rich knows more Spanish than we do. It's
That's
not
fair.
pinto.
He spouts off so
Yeah.
much Spanish while we're playing. Most of the time, I don't think it's correct.
I don't
but
think it is either. Either that, or it's just a bunch of freaking like vulgar things that he's yelling at people.
Yeah. But Red Dead's
Oh
been
wait,
fun.
wait.
The economy sucks
that's
in
not
Red
bad.
Dead, but you know,
Huh?
I don't know.
I said the economy sucks in Red Dead. but
It
that's
doesn't
about
suck. It's just it's off in certain places.
That's
and I'll,
in the news.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
off
so-
in certain places.
And people suck.
Yeah.
Having no passive mode,
Yeah.
that kind of
Oh
sucks.
man, I'm sure we'll get to all that later.
All right, time for the news.
Dun, 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 or whatever.
BioWare has announced on its blog that we'll be seeing a Dragon Age announcement this month, and it looks like the reveal may be at the Game Awards. However, it also looks like it might be a while before we get the new title. Reported by VentureBeat, sources familiar with BioWare claim that the game is still in the early stages of development, saying that the studio and EA have yet to decide on a name for the upcoming title. However, it appears a final name could be decided prior to the possible reveal at the Game Awards on Thursday. And it looks like, I don't think I put this in here, but it's looking like this game's probably going to come out in 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna add that in there too. I saw that before we came in. 2021.
Did anybody think we were getting a Dragon Age anytime soon?
I think we both did, because they've
I
been talking about it since
We said
last year.
2020 though.
Yeah, but 2020 doesn't seem that far away because 2019's in a month. 2021 seems so much further away, especially if you're going to be announcing it so early. Which they do with Dragon Age all the time. Like, this isn't new. BioWare has a tendency to announce shit 3 years before it comes out.
Sure.
But it's also like, why announce it so early if you're not planning on releasing it for 3 years? Well, two years in a month.
Because that's
If you
what
don't even have a
BioWare.
title.
Because that's what BioWare does, I guess. I think. Well, we said 2020, and I think Dragon Age is always like an October, November game, isn't it? It's fall.
Yeah, it is fall.
So I mean, I was thinking 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's not really that. It is far away. Sure. Yeah. The January 2020 is only like a year and 2 months away.
Yeah,
but I was thinking this game was going to be like almost 2 years away.
Yeah, but at this point, it's just you're right. Dragon Age games usually come out in the fall, so at this point it's basically 3 years away.
Sure,
because we're only like 2 months away from the release cycle. And I don't know. Part of the thing is too, like, it's not necessarily a problem with Dragon Age. It's more, I guess I'm not worried about Anthem anymore, because like if Destiny can shit the bed as hard as it can, like Anthem has to be a step up from that.
EA's like, hold my beer.
There's been a lot of Anthem shit happening, and it looks it looks pretty promising.
They showed another teaser trailer for it.
But right now BioWare is just, two studios, Austin and Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Austin's, as far as we can tell, isn't really doing anything, although there's thousands of rumors that they are. So Edmonton's probably working on Inquisition and Dragon Age and Anthem. I kind of just wish they would get out of Anthem's way and just let Anthem be what it is, talk about Anthem, not tease us with anything else. And then once Anthem is released, tell me all about Dragon Age.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So instead of even talking about Dragon Age at all, just
and Anthem's going to be at the Game Awards.
But well, yeah, because the Anthem has they went the division round. Anthem's been having, I think, like either weekly or bi-weekly developer streams where they're showing off a ton of shit about Anthem. Mm-hmm. Looks very promising, and like yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they announce Dragon Age, at least give us a title at the Game Awards, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's just BioWare's MO, right? Even when they did Mass Effect 3, 3 years before Mass Effect 3 came out.
But that's the thing, though. They did that. So Mass Effect 3, I think, is one of the biggest Game Awards announcements ever. And that turnaround from Mass Effect 2 to 3 was, I think it was like a year.
Yeah, there's more BioWare studios at that time, though.
Actually, hold on. Was it a year? I think it was 2 years, which
maybe
was shocking.
Yeah, maybe it was.
I don't think anyone was expecting it to come out so soon. But with Dragon Age Inquisition, they announced that teaser with Morrigan, and I don't think it came out for 2 years until after that teaser. Mm-hmm. And then with Mass Effect Andromeda, that game was at like four different E3s.
You're right, that was a 3. That's the one I'm thinking of. Mass Effect Andromeda was like a 3-year thing.
But I feel like it would just be more special if they waited 6 months. Like if this announcement was coming at E3 or EA Play or whatever the fuck they want to call it, rather than at the Game Awards before Anthem is even out. I think I would have been so much more excited.
Sure, I guess so. Even at E3, like if any of this is true, even at E3 2019, if this game's not due out to 2021, I mean, we're not even going to get gameplay at E3.
Well, and I guess that's another sad thing too, is that like with Dragon Age, I already know it's in development. It's not a secret.
I think Mike Laidlaw said it was in development a year ago.
Yeah, there was that whole Twitter conversation about it. I already know what's happening. So, and you don't need to sell me on Dragon Age. Like I'm going to be there day one to buy it.
Yeah.
So just wait until you have something to actually show me before you start talking about it.
Yeah.
Because that was the most painful thing about Mass Effect Andromeda. Remember, it was like 2 or 3 years of just trailers that are like cinematic that show nothing of the game. And I'm like sitting there banging my head on the table because I'm so fucking excited, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited.
Sure. I don't know. It's Dragon Age. They've been good every time.
They probably could have waited on it though.
Yeah.
Do we really think it's 2021 though? Because like after Anthem, which is due out in February, which is literally due out in 3 months, EA or BioWare has nothing for 3 years.
So the rumor from VentureBeat is that the studio had previously been working on the new Dragon Age title. They basically had half the studio working on Dragon Age and half the studio working on Anthem.
Sure.
And then they pulled basically everyone off of Dragon Age to start working on Anthem.
And then
so the game's basically been in hiatus for the last year.
Whatever Austin's working on is going to be the next BioWare game. Probably 2020, whatever that may be.
I honestly, I think Austin's days are numbered because we haven't heard any solid evidence that they're working on anything.
Other than SWTOR.
And I don't think SWTOR has very long legs left. I just don't. Because even though it's a successful game and it's had a really good run, I think its users are dropping fairly quickly and it's not really growing all that much. And we also know EA is not afraid to shut down studios. So, and they're also in a pretty bad way because Battlefield 5, by all accounts, was a massive failure. I would see them. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Battlefield 5 was a complete disaster.
Oh. Was it a bad game?
It's just, it came out too early. That game should have come out next spring or
really
early. Yeah. There's just, the multiplayer isn't as sharp as Battlefield multiplayer usually is, which is what you buy Battlefield for because it's supposed to be the more realistic of the two shooters.
Sure, that's weird.
Heavy quotes around realistic.
That's weird.
The campaign isn't even complete. They're releasing the campaign as DLC. And they had to delay the DLC because they
Free
realized there was a
DLC?
bug. What's up?
Free DLC?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
But they shipped a game without an incomplete campaign.
Well, did they not do that with 4 or 5?
They didn't do it with Battlefield 1.
There was no like extra stuff that you could like because I thought it was all vignettes.
They never expanded the vignettes. All the vignettes came out and they were
okay.
all completely done.
Oh, okay.
It probably doesn't help that Black Ops is doing really well too.
I don't know. I mean, because Battlefield games are okay. Hold on. Let me fix this statement before I dig myself into a hole. Battlefield multiplayer is always great regardless of Call of Duty. It's only Battlefield 1 that I think where they really hit their stride as far as single player goes. I think the problem is that DICE for the last 4 years has been turning a game over year because it was Battlefront, Battlefield 1, Battlefront 2, Battlefield 5. I think they're just working too hard. I think that they needed more time for this to cook, and it probably would have turned out great. But it looks rushed, and most of the reviewers agree that it is rushed. It's just sad. So if I were EA, if I know EA, Austin's not doing much as far as we know, and unless they have an announcement in the next year or so, or unless they have like some major expansion working for Star Wars: The Old Republic, I don't see that studio lasting for much longer. Because whatever they're doing, I think Edmonton or Motive could probably do with a lot lower of a staff number.
Maybe. I don't see Austin closing not soon. I bet Austin's whatever Austin's been cooking for the last 3 years is probably what's going to be EA's or BioWare's like, if Dragon Age is until 2021, whatever Austin has been working on, because we know they're working on something because they've been fairly public with that. It's like Austin's working on this and then Edmonton's doing this and then Montreal got fucked and all this other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's maybe it's whatever that fucking 4v1 game was that was supposed to come out. I don't know.
A 2-year turnaround time for BioWare games isn't weird though, because Andromeda came out in 2017.
Sure.
Anthem will have come out in 2019.
Sure.
And then Dragon Age will have come out in 2021 supposedly.
Yeah.
So that's not too crazy.
Yeah, I guess not. It's just weird when it's weird. Number one, they only have 2 studios, which is a little weird. But it's also weird that you've got an entire team in Austin that
is picking their noses.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. That you're just not using them, and they're talented. They made SWTOR.
Well, I mean,
maybe they're working on Dragon Age Mobile.
Well, I mean, a lot of their team are people that worked on Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, sure.
And EA has the fucking Star Wars license. Why don't maybe they do. Maybe like I'm sitting here getting frustrated over nothing, but why, if you have the Star Wars license and you own the studio we've made this argument 1,000 times, but you own the studio that made the best fucking Star Wars game ever, why don't you have a section of them working on a Star Wars game? Like, you want to prove to Disney that you deserve the fucking Star Wars license still.
Because
make a great game.
Because they're too busy making Battlefield.
I guess.
And Madden.
How did I get scrolled down so far? Several gaming websites have received a package containing orange crash-colored dice, emblematic of the Crash Team Racing series, with a note that says, quote, sliding into the Game Awards on 12/6, end quote. This has led various groups to speculate that Crash Team Racing will be announced on Thursday.
Oh, like fuzzy dice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking dice, like actual.
They're like big fuzzy
dice. Got it.
I want to say ours got lost in the mail along with the Spyro egg.
Oh,
Activision,
no.
you need to get your shit together.
No, we got it. I just burned them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Activision. Problem.
Nobody cares about Crash Team Racing.
I don't know. Here's the thing.
You're not wrong.
I think that there are like those weird people out there like Tim Geddes from Kind of Funny. Love you, Tim Geddes. Who, because I know you're listening. Who are like crazy about Crash Team Racing. God, I cannot say the name of the game. And they think it's the best thing ever.
But he doesn't realize it's a terrible racing game.
I mean, it's fine.
The only reason he likes it is because of nostalgia. He loves Crash Bandicoot, but he won't come to terms that Crash Bandicoot is literally a mess of a game.
Crash Team Racing was fine, but it wasn't Mario Kart. It's kind of like Diddy Kong Racing. Like, everyone thinks Diddy Kong Racing is the best thing ever.
Diddy Kong Racing was better than fucking Crash Team Racing.
Sure, but both of them were significantly worse than Mario
Hell,
Kart.
Sonic All-Star Racing is better than Crash Team Racing.
Sonic All-Star Racing is actually not a bad game.
That's what I mean. It's pretty good. It's not bad.
Never played it.
It's just the weird furry thing that kind of throws me off when I'm playing it.
The furry thing.
Yeah, like the whole like Sonic sex community.
No clue what that is.
Do you not know what this is?
Nope.
Yeah, there are people on the internet that enjoy drawing like sexy Sonic characters, and they're like a weird sect of the furry people that identify as like Sonic characters. So they'll like draw like a Sonic style.
Tails.
Yeah, they'll draw like a Sonic style fox or cat or something, and they're like, "This is my fur persona."
Man, you know a lot about this.
You know way too much about that.
I feel like I don't know. I just
wonder what their pickup line is. Take a look at my knuckles.
gotta go fast.
Damn it, I was going to say that one. That was a low-hanging fruit.
Even more creative.
Nice tails. Damn it. This Game Awards, though, seems like it'll be fun.
I guess
I'm more so excited about the Marvel stuff, if we're being honest. But
I mean,
I literally have no idea what you guys are talking
just the
about.
fact that the Russo brothers are going to be presenting an award.
there's definitely going to be. You don't think
Don't
that
say definitely anything. Like fucking
there's
Disney
more
didn't
than
put out a,
likely.
This is also coming from the person that said, "Oh, Chris Evans is definitely done playing Captain America," when literally it's been confirmed that he's not done playing Captain America.
Who said he's done playing?
Like you literally said that.
No, I
When
said his
he-
contract was done.
No, when you sent out that tweet, you were like, "Oh, he's definitely done." But when he sent out that tweet, it's like, "Hey, thanks for everybody and for the memories and blah 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 blah," and you're like, "Oh, he's definitely done playing Captain America."
Yeah.
And they just announced that he's not done playing Captain America.
When?
The Russo brothers said something about Chris Evans was like he's still in for Marvel movies. Get out of here, Justin.
Anyways.
So could they show a trailer? Sure, but I honestly think it's 50-50 either way. I think they could show a trailer for Avengers, but I also think if I was Disney and Marvel, I would want to stay as far out of the way of Captain
Yeah.
Marvel as possible.
That's real dumb. Why would they show a movie?
Well,
trailer
no, but
at a video game
that's why they
awards?
released Captain Marvel trailer yesterday.
No, but that's why I wouldn't show an Avengers trailer, because I really think that you could end up in a place where the Avengers trailer eats fucking Captain Marvel,
Wouldn't the
where
Avengers?
no one's paying attention to Captain Marvel.
Don't you think Don't you think the opposite though? Like the Avengers trailer would actually, because of course we know Captain Marvel's in Avengers 4, right? So you show the Avengers trailer and you show Captain Marvel semi-prevalent in the Avengers trailer, which is going to drive people to go watch Captain Marvel. At least that's my thought process.
Maybe.
If I saw Captain Marvel, if I cared enough. Let's say that first. If I cared enough to be excited about these things, if I saw Captain Marvel in the Avengers 4 trailer, it would drive me more to go want to watch Captain Marvel in the first place.
Yeah, yes, I think if that's the way that they plan on kind of marketing it, sure, yes. But I also think that as someone who really liked Avengers 3, I don't really care that Captain Marvel's in that movie. What I want to see is the original Avengers like reacting to everything that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I also think that like Captain Marvel's in the movie, but I think it would be stupid of them to put her center stage unless they're like planning on having like a Captain Marvel takeover where she's the new Captain America and all that, which has happened in the comics.
Sure. Like, well, I mean, lore-wise, Captain Marvel's the only person that's going to beat Thanos. Period. She's the only one that can.
Anyways, I think they'll show something.
Maybe.
I think it would also be cool if they did some sort of like huge Marvel thing. Like here's next Avengers movie. Here's the Avengers game that's been worked on.
See, I'm in the
That,
complete.
and
you are
here's-
so fucking optimistic.
No joke. I'm
And
in the.
here's
I'm
Kingdom
also.
Hearts 3
I'm also in the
Marvel.
complete opposite boat. Don't mix my movies and video games.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
I don't care. I literally couldn't care. Watching a video game award ceremony, I literally couldn't care less about an upcoming movie, even if it is a Marvel movie. I literally couldn't care. Just couldn't.
You're absolutely right. I had that like that. I've had that same thought that I didn't mention at all. Yeah, like that is also not the venue to talk about fucking.
Sure, it's just not.
But if you want to avoid the complete like Avengers thing and you want to talk about the Avengers game, I'm down. Show me that.
If there's an Avengers game.
There is Crystal Dynamics. Is
Oh,
working on it.
that's right. The Square Enix one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here's my. I do want to talk about the Game Awards real fast though. I wish they would move away from the. This sounds so stupid. I wish they weren't the Game Awards. I wish it was just a fucking yearly celebration of video games, where everyone wasn't like pretending like it matters what Jeff Keighley thinks or what these random voters that we don't even know about think about the games of the year. I just think it's so stupid the way that the internet kind of like gets onto this thing like it matters when it doesn't.
The random voters are actually like YouTube personalities, and most of the
YouTube personalities and
most of the
gaming journalism
yeah,
websites.
the journalism websites. That is the academy.
I get it, but I just don't think it matters because it's one award thing and a sea of other award things, and the reality is that like I know back when I used to really follow IGN super hard, the only Game Award thing I cared about was what IGN thought. So the Game Awards would happen every year, and it was like, I'm just here to watch the cool trailers for the new games. I don't care what you think the best game is. I just care what IGN thinks. And I think that's how most people are. They care what PewDiePie's top games are rather than what the Game Awards thinks.
I'm not so sure about that. I think the Game Awards were such a huge success last year that, and on the back of a lot of random things, right? Fuck the Oscars was one of them. But I think that it is a celebration of the games of the year, right? It definitely works as a celebration, but I think a lot more people aren't you. I think a lot more people do like this is the, quote unquote official game of the year. Because it is all these gaming journalisms that have their own opinion pieces on what game of the year is. But this right here is all those opinions wrapped up into one. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of people do like. I think a lot of people do enjoy it.
I think people enjoy the pageantry of it.
I'm not saying I enjoy it for sure. But what I enjoy about it are the games that there's the new games coming out. But I also enjoy those moments where they're honoring people, or are celebrating aspects of the video game industry that aren't usually talked about. Like, wasn't it last year where they gave out an award to like one of the first women that had worked on like the Atari system or something like that? Like that shit is really cool, and coming out and showing like montages of all the games and just talking about the different creators and having Jeff Keighley like interview these different creators. That stuff is really cool. It's just the award part that I want them to kind of get rid of because I just don't think it matters.
Mm-hmm. Just like a gaming celebration.
But look forward to the Twin Stickies coming the first week of January. The true Game Award show.
As we say, these awards don't matter, but
one.
Listen to our award show instead.
Yeah.
But I mean, even ours don't. We always joke.
Oh no,
it
matters.
doesn't matter.
Well, that's the thing is like these also don't. In a way, in a matter of speaking, yeah, they don't matter. If Red Dead Redemption wins Jeff Keighley's Game of the Year award, that doesn't mean it is Game of the Year. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like for you, it may not be Game of the Year. For me, it is. It's the same thing with like the Oscars. It's like, it's just the idea of the pageantry. It's like, just because La La Land won or whatever the fuck won doesn't mean it's the best movie to ever come out of that year.
Yeah, but the thing about the Oscars though,
and that's even more pretentious because it's not people. It's not like it's not like journalists and YouTube personalities that people interact with and not communicate with, but relate to, right? Those are the people voting for the Game Awards. The Oscars is literally a bunch of fucking old people in a room voting for fucking movies.
The thing about the Oscars that makes it different than the Game Awards, yes, you're right. It is pretentious and stuck up. I'm not going to remove any of that from it. But the thing about it is that it is agreed upon by everyone in the movie industry that this is the biggest award show.
Sure.
This is what matters. This is what we're working
because it's
towards.
been going for 60 something years. I have no idea.
It's been going for forever.
Yeah, in 60 years, if the Game Awards have been going that long, I think they'll be in the same.
But
boat.
the thing is that because video games are significantly more corporate than movies, which is saying something because movies are about as corporate as it gets. None of the video game publishers or publishers more than developers, but no one has agreed upon this one place where it really matters where awards are coming from.
Yeah, I agree.
Which means that we have this venue where things are just kind of turned into like another really weird joke of fucking video game industry.
Sure, yeah, but I would think 4 years after the Oscars started, somebody had the exact same opinion as you.
Maybe, but also 4 years after the Oscars started, there weren't thousands of gaming websites giving different games Game of the Year, so that literally anyone can make a Game of the Year edition of their game.
That's because websites didn't exist.
Exactly. So I don't think the Game Awards are ever going to be in a place where
newspapers and magazines and publications did exist. They were doing that exact thing. And 40 years ago, you opened up a newspaper, there's a whole section on reviews of movies, and that's literally every newspaper all across the country.
Yeah, but
well, also look at any movie trailer ever right now, and it's always, number one movie of the number one comedy movie out right now. It's like, well, yeah, probably based on like one one
Yeah,
review
I
or
mean,
something.
or based on the fact that there's no other fucking comedy movies out at the moment.
Right.
But I also think that, like, as you're right, there were a bunch of newspapers all over the world that were reviewing things. But as an audience, you only had access to the newspaper that was in your town or city. You weren't pulling thousands
like
of newspapers and reading them all. Exactly.
Sure, but I mean, the idea is that the reviews are there, and it's the same thing with the website. Internet just makes newspapers easier to read
But that means that as opposed to having 4 different publications that you had access to as a person in the 1940s, we as people in the 2018 have thousands of different publications that we have access to.
Sure, yeah,
and
of course.
we all have equal access to them, which means that anyone can say anything is as important to them as they want it to be.
Sure.
No one cares about IGN's Game of the Award until your game is Game of the Year for IGN. And suddenly all of your boxes are published with an IGN Game of the Year sticker. We have a Game of the Year edition because IGN gave us Game of the Year.
Sure, but
and then fucking Red Dead has a Game of the Year, and
sure, but
Fallout 76 has a Game of the Year edition.
But imagine if you get to a point where I think Jeff is trying to get to, where the Game Awards really are the overall. This is the official Game of the Year award. So if you want to make a Game of the Year disc, you've got to have the Game of the Year mantle from the official Game of the Year award under your the Game Awards under your belt.
I think the
reason, and it's not like just because the Oscars are a thing doesn't mean that these movies don't take their films to Sundance and all these other indie film places
I don't know
too.
what
Like,
that means.
I'm saying that
Yeah, but
Oscars are not the only ones.
who won the Sundance Film of the Year award?
La La Land.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
That's
La La
like,
Land probably did win.
but
I mean, not in this most recent year,
Moonshiners. No, that's not it.
I think
Moonlight.
There you go. That's it.
I think the reason why Jeff Keighley's going to fail ultimately, or why he's going to keep doing this thing for as long as he does it and it's never going to change or never be more relevant than it was the year before, is because he's doing the exact thing that has been being done in the industry for so long. I think the way that the industry is so reliant on reviews and awards and numbers and scores and stars and A's and B's and C's, I think it's all not productive to the industry at all. I don't think attaching a score or an award to something makes it relevant. I think Jeff Keighley would have more success if he was trying to be subversive to the culture that already exists in gaming. I mean, how you look at YouTubers, right? A lot of YouTubers aren't throwing scores on their opinion videos, but they're sitting there talking about it, and they're pulling in way more people than places like GameSpot and Kotaku and Polygon. And it's not, but you still have these holdouts like IGN and Kotaku and GameSpot, not Kotaku actually, Kotaku removed their scores, who believe that the only way that people are going to read their fucking reviews is if they attach a score at the end. But YouTubers are proving them wrong. So I wish Keighley would figure out a different way to celebrate the industry than by trying to copy the Oscars or the various thousands of other game awards that exist.
I believe in you, Jeff Keighley. You keep doing you. Also, YouTubers are succeeding because people don't like to read.
Maybe.
Like literally, the only reason YouTubers are succeeding in their video game scores is because somebody can just watch them mindlessly and listen to them.
Well,
they don't actually have to read a piece.
IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, all these other sites have the same access to video technology, and yet they're
And
not
they- and
adapting their format.
But they do. They do. I think every single IGN review is also translated into a video that people can watch.
a video that isn't an actual discussion, that's just a breakdown of the review, and that still people only watch for the score.
Sure, but my point being is that like YouTubers are succeeding because it's just somebody a talking face on a camera, where people don't want to read anymore. That's my point. I just don't think people like reading.
I don't think you're wrong, but I also think that if they can have the success without having a score at the end of their video, just having someone sit down and talk.
But I don't think
about
that's
it,
the reason they have the success. The score at the end of the video is not the success.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. People are watching these videos because they don't want to read shit. Yes, but these videos are still doing really well in spite of the fact that they're completely subverting the format that has been accepted by the video game journalism industry for the past 30 years.
Okay. I still believe in you, Jeff Keighley. I like the Video Game Awards. I think it's funny, especially the guy like fuck the Oscars.
Fans were in an uproar last week after it was discovered that Bethesda shipped a cheap nylon bag in its Fallout 76 Power Armored Edition rather than the higher quality one that appeared on the promotional images. Initially, Bethesda responded by giving all Power Armor Edition purchasers $5 of free currency for the in-game store. But after a few days, and more anger from fans, Bethesda announced yesterday that they will be providing a new bag that customers can get by signing up online.
Oh, Bethesda. Fun fact, that $5 in-game currency is also not enough to buy a canvas bag in the game either.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah.
This, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but
Justin, does it matter?
does it matter?
Does what matter?
Yes.
Does what matter?
Why does it matter, Justin?
Because they did not, someone paid, how much was the Power Armor edition?
$200.
Someone paid $200 being told this is what you're going to get. And they did not know that they were getting something different until after they had already received it.
If Fallout 76 was a success, this wouldn't matter.
I don't think that's true.
I think you both are right. I think if Fallout 76 was, I think it would matter to some people, but
not enough to change the company.
I don't think that the internet would have been in an uproar because let's be real, the amount of people that actually own this, that are being affected by this, is a really small number compared to the number of people that are fucking talking about this. And yeah, I think you're right. It probably wouldn't matter as much because people would have not another thing to nail onto their hatred.
I can't tell you how many collector's editions I've bought that were advertised as one way and came out something different.
But how different?
Fairly different, especially the Assassin's Creed ones, man. Those statues, when you look at them in those promotional pictures, they're fucking awesome. Sometimes those statues come out like utter pieces of shit.
See, but that's not okay.
But that's my point. Yeah. My point being is that those, if Fallout 76 wasn't in the shithole that it's in now, this literally would not matter. People would not be complaining about a canvas bag. The reason they're complaining about a canvas bag is because Fallout 76 is in such a shithole of a place.
Right. This is just, it's more fuel to the fire, really.
No, but to Justin's point, though, it's probably good that people are mad at Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, in the future, the next time a game like Fallout 76 comes out, and people love it, but it has a shitty collector's edition, I think more people are going to be like, hey, this sucks. Like, you need to fix this, even though the game is universally loved.
Yep. I completely agree. I do agree. I agree with both of you. I think it's really shitty.
In the process of people packing these boxes, putting these nylon bags in the boxes, getting ready to ship them out, at no point did someone think, maybe we should tell people first.
Yeah, you know,
this was because the reasoning behind it was the canvas bag was not financially reasonable for them to give out to all these people.
But I can tell you 1,000%, not to interrupt you, but they're fucking lying because they had sent out a bag to a bunch of streamers. And they figured out that the cost of that bag, buying it in bulk, was like $5 per bag, and the bag was fairly nice. And I used to work for the sign shop where we would buy promotional stuff like that all the time. You can buy fairly nice promotional things in bulk for fucking $250. So like, it really seems like they were just lazy. But anyway, going back to your point,
no, but I agree. But that's what I'm saying. So they came out with this kind of BS excuse of, oh, it's not financially reasonable for us to do this. But you could have said that 2 months ago whenever you started, pricing these things.
I also think the canvas bag and the nylon bag, that's not the real issue here. Sure, they sent out a bag that was subpar to what they promised or what they even sent to YouTubers, like you were saying. The issue is that their initial response was $5 of in-game currency that literally cost the company nothing. It cost the company a press of a button to send $5 of in-game currency that's not even enough to buy really anything in their in-game shop. That's the biggest issue of this entire conversation. That is what people should be concentrating on, because that is absolutely that's Bungie level ridiculous, guys. And the worst part,
EA level ridiculous.
And the worst part is if you take this, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you are considering taking the 500, or you already did, or you're in this process, do not accept the $5 of atoms, because that is compensation and you are no longer in a position where you could take further legal action in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
And that is fucking... and Bethesda knows that, dude. Bethesda's lawyers know that as soon as those people take that 500 atoms, they are no longer responsible for anything.
It's a settlement.
It's settling outside of court, and it's fucking ridiculous, man.
The whole thing about the situation that kind of blew me away is that this whole Fallout 76 debacle from beginning to end just is not Bethesda.
No, it's not.
And I don't understand why. Do they think they could get away with it because they have such good clout with gamers? And if that's the case, that's even worse than the fact that them just doing this accidentally.
Sure.
Like maybe they didn't expect it to be like everything, the shitty game, the shitty collector's edition. Maybe they didn't expect it to be so bad. They're just naive and a little stupid.
Sure, yeah,
whatever. But if they thought they could get away with doing this shit just because their fans love them, that talks about a really dark side of Bethesda that we don't get to see that often.
Yeah. I saw a YouTube video from a guy who used to be a game dev the other day. It just randomly popped up on my feed, so I watched it. And he was talking about the Gamebryo engine. And so he traced the Gamebryo engine back as far as it goes. And guess what the Gamebryo engine was initially made for?
N64.
MMOs. Online play.
Really?
So the fact that Bethesda is kind of like saying, hey, this is new things that we're trying out in this Gamebryo engine that they use, it's not the engine's fault. It's Bethesda's fault that they're fucking up. That they fucked up this engine over the years.
Well, and that was
fucking crazy.
That was going to be my point. I have this friend at work, Thomas, who he bought Fallout 76 and pre-ordered it, and I make fun of him for it all the time. But mostly because he likes to go with his friends and they fuck around with the code of Bethesda games. And he was talking about how recently someone released, I think, a mod for Oblivion that adds multiplayer into it. And the thing about that mod is that over the years, Bethesda has fucked up that engine so much that they basically had to fucking repurpose it to make it work for Fallout 76 because they had gutted it so much that it just was not available for multiplayer.
That Irish guy's Vidoc that we watched, what's his name?
Danny O'Dwyer.
Yeah, Danny O'Dwyer. It was, what is it called?
No Clip.
No Clip. Great documentary about Bethesda. From a surface level, hey, this is really cool. They're taking this in. They even talk about it in there. This engine was not made for multiplayer, so they're having to take it and test it and change it and make it work for multiplayer. The engine you're using was made for multiplayer. Just over the years, you have literally fucked that engine up so much that you can't. Now your games don't work for it. And the fact that Bethesda has an engine that can't do multiplayer in 2018. Holy mother of God, guys.
It's literally like taking your car and gutting all the shit that makes it move and then trying to make your car drive again.
Pretty much. Yeah. Or it's like, hey, in 2018, can you even imagine a car with not power windows? You just can't. Just can't imagine it.
Nope. But my grandpa had to look because he wanted one that had a manual window.
Don't do it. Yeah, I don't think they do it anymore.
They did, but he had to drive, like, he was living in Indiana at the time. I think he had to drive 2 or 3 states away to find a dealership that sold the model of truck that he wanted with manual windows.
Holy shit.
Well, how was this like a 2018 truck? Was
this would have been like 2015 or 2016.
And it was a brand new truck at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean,
anyway, but my point being is that you wouldn't see a car that isn't capable with power, that isn't coming off that lot without power windows. And it's just a crazy thing to think of. It's like, oh yeah, my car has fucking manual windows. It's like, wait, really? And it's crazy to think that a video game in 2018 can't do multiplayer.
Well, but
correctly.
You know what? But the whole thing is, like, the whole thing about that though, kind of, dovetailing off of what you're saying, that's fine. If you only make single player games and you have an engine that's perfect for single player, which Gamebryo's not, but when Gamebryo works, it's perfect for single player. That's fine. But if that's the way that you're going to go, why would you use the same engine to make Fallout 76? Why not just sit there and develop a new engine that works for multiplayer?
Especially when you have a sister company in ZeniMax that has nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, took them a while, but
Sure, but they have an engine that works great in a multiplayer setting. I don't know, man. It's not like Bethesda. It's just not, which is crazy to me that we're in this situation, and it's dumb that Fallout 76 is in this position, and it's dumb that Bethesda lawyers or whoever the hell made that decision thought $5 of in-game currency was okay. The whole thing's just dumb, and it really sucks.
Do you remember how hard it was for you? Because you wanted one of these. You wanted a power armor.
I still want a power armor edition.
No, I know, but do you remember, like, you were calling, like, what, GameStops?
I was calling everybody.
They were sold out.
Yeah.
These people... if these people spent $200 on something that, one, they probably might not have been able to afford. They could have used the money on something else, and were basically lied to.
Well, I mean, the price of that thing, you could buy a fucking PS4 with Spider-Man on Black Friday for the price of that
it's
game.
Just it's crazy to me.
Very true, but I still want the power armor edition. I honestly don't care if the bag sucks.
Well, but you don't want it for the bag.
You're right, I don't. I want it for the helmet, and I want it for the minis.
Which is what most people
and
want.
the map.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, well, like I don't think anybody was really jonesing for the bag.
Yeah, sure.
But I feel like once you pay $200, that's a more or less that's a contract.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Like,
well, that's no, not necessarily. Not when it comes to consumer shit. Yeah,
but it's
I
not like
guess.
a miss. It's but you're not like
Two-
I'm not paying $200 for a loot box. I'm paying
I mean,
$200
but
for
let's
this is what you're getting.
let's be real though. Like whatever the price of that box is, it was too much.
Sure.
I guarantee
Well, I
you.
don't know what the helmet looks like. I think a lot of people are happy with the helmet.
Sure,
I know
but-
it's not metal.
But it's plastic.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, but I don't think that helmet's worth $140.
Probably not.
Or probably like with the price of the minis, which you can make all those minis for less than $5 for the set.
Sure.
The nylon bag, which obviously costs less than $5.
Probably less than $1.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, but we know how retail works.
I know we do, but that doesn't what that mean? They're getting away with selling it that much because it was Fallout.
Sure.
If this was any other game and it had similar items in it, it probably would have been $50
Actually, I don't know.
cheaper.
Actually, I don't know how much. What's the most expensive? How much did I pay for that Division one? That was $100.
And that came with
came with a
nice ass fucking
Badass
watch.
watch. You're right.
That watch was like fucking Rolex
Yeah.
adjacent.
Yeah, okay.
Adjacent. Which
I
was
think-
where I was going, but I was looking for the word.
I think, man, because I bought a lot of. Trey knows I bought a shit ton of collector's editions over the years. Even before we worked at GameStop together, I've got every Fallout collector's edition that's ever come out, including the New Vegas one with the chips and the
And
card
that's
sets.
the New
and-
Vegas one was fucking incredible.
Yeah,
Fallout 3-1, the lunchbox was cool. It
it's
was a
okay.
little lame.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I just can't remember if I ever paid more than $200 for a collector's edition. I might have, and I just don't remember. Grand Theft Auto 4, maybe. I did get the Grand Theft Auto one. Nope, I bought that when it went on sale at GameStop. 'Cause we worked there at the time.
The only time I've ever, aside from Fallout 76,
Yeah.
or no, I'm sorry, Fallout New
Oh,
Vegas,
yeah.
which was a great collector's edition. The only time that I've ever been satisfied when I bought a collector's edition is when I bought one of the Sony ones. Like the Infamous 2 collector's edition
yeah.
came with that cool, it was modeled
Coles.
after his backpack, and it came with a cool
Oh,
statue.
yeah.
I still have that shit and I love it. I love that collector's edition. I think it was like $75.
I was
going
gonna say, but it wasn't $200.
No, it wasn't. And
None
that
of the
bag is nice.
None of the Assassin's Creed ones were $200 for sure.
But unless you're buying something like the Batmobile edition or I think the Mass Effect Andromeda one with the Nomad.
Oh, sure, but that was a remote controlled car.
Yeah, but it also didn't come with the fucking game.
Did it
It came with
not?
a steelbook, but
Oh,
it
I
didn't
didn't
come
know
with
that.
the game.
Holy shit.
But unless you're buying stuff like that, you usually can't get away with selling a collector's edition for that much.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the most expensive one I ever bought, but it's just dumb. This whole situation's dumb. This is dumb, and it sucks that Bethesda's in this situation because it's now I've heard multiple times now that people are less excited for Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield and what could come from beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a guy that was not excited at all about Fallout 76 and was really mad about it. Saw fucking Todd Howard speak about it. Tom Howard.
Yeah, he's his mathematician brother.
Saw Todd Howard speak about it and was instantly on the other side of that.
Yeah, sure. But and to an extent, those people that are like, well, now, because they're using the same. Todd Howard has already come out and said we're still using Gamebryo for Elder Scrolls 6. Whether or not there's going to be multiplayer in Elder Scrolls 6, I seriously doubt it. Especially
I think he
after
said there's not.
Yeah, especially even if the idea was there, it's out the fucking window now,
should be.
right? But even then, we're still getting a game that is developed in a subpar engine, and I think people, it's like. We've talked about it before. We're huge Bethesda fans. Fallout 3, New Vegas, Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim. But there's always something wrong with the fucking game. And sometimes it's game breaking. You couldn't finish Fallout 4. Like sometimes
Not
it's
the way I wanted to finish it.
Right. Sometimes it's game breaking, and that's not okay. And they're still doing that. They're still using that exact same engine where all these things we talk about for the last 3 years of this podcast has been a problem, and they're still using it. Yep. It's just after this, I don't know. I have no fucking clue.
I'll still be there on day one for Starfield, most likely, unless it just doesn't look like I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I will definitely be there day one for Elder Scrolls 6.
Sure.
But it'll be really interesting to see kind of how they'll recover from this. I'm guessing. I think that they're gonna turn it around and they'll be okay. But it'll be interesting though, because the problems that have existed in their games, like you were saying, are going to exist in Starfield, and they're going to exist in Elder Scrolls 6.
But
so Are they going to get away with it this time? Because
No.
they got away with it in Fallout 4.
I don't think so, because we've got games like fucking Red Dead Redemption and Spider-Man and God of War and freaking Horizon Zero Dawn and, Naughty Dog games and all these. We've got so many games that have literally come out since the last fucking good, great Bethesda game to compare it to.
But I feel like people made that same argument with like Grand Theft Auto 5. Fallout 4 has to be better because Grand Theft Auto 5 exists. Grand Theft Auto 5, it was revolutionary for the time that it came out.
You know what? Maybe using Rockstar as an example is bad. Because
Yeah.
Rockstar just makes fucking masterpieces.
Well, they have fucking 7 years to do it. And Bethesda has even longer.
Yeah, but and yes, let's take Rockstar out of the example. Even then, you've got all these games that exist in 2018, and Fallout 76 exists in 2018, and 2021, maybe, I don't know when the fuck Elder Scrolls 6 will be out.
Oh, not 2021.
Maybe 2023, 2024.
Probably 2025.
Yeah, so by then we're gonna have
That's not even a joke, too.
yeah,
I really believe that.
By then we might have Grand Theft Auto 7, and then you're gonna release fucking 6. Sorry.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
By then we might have Grand Theft Auto 6, and you're going to compare Elder Scrolls 6 to Grand Theft Auto 6. It's not going to be a comparison if you keep using that fucking engine.
Well, but I think that comes on us to hold them to it, though.
Sure, this chair is broken.
Stop breaking chairs.
Well, no, the chair was broken to begin with. The back part of the chair, the rivets are off. And I think people are plopping into these chairs.
No, and
maybe
it's knocking that shit off.
It's knocking that shit
It's
off.
why
Maybe
we're finding those
Bethesda
random
made it.
nuts and bolts
Oh,
on the
that is
ground.
what it is. God
Yeah.
damn it, guys. You're breaking the chairs.
I bet Bethesda made that chair.
Speaking of Rockstar, Rockstar has responded to player feedback for Red Dead Online's beta, specifically commenting on fixing the in-game economy. Quote, "Our current areas of focus include the in-game economy, which will require some additional balancing in order to ensure all activities are appropriately rewarding and fun, as well as some persistent bugs that are causing some players to be kicked from sessions. End quote. Rockstar's decision to focus on this fix first is most likely due to the response from players complaining about the time it takes to earn just one gold bar in the game, which is approximately 8 hours as calculated by fans on Reddit."
Cool.
Go ahead.
I think so. There's a lot of people that are really mad about this, and I understand that, but I also think that with the transparency that Rockstar has had about the fact that this is a beta, this is a test, and that we're going to be adjusting things on the fly, I think they have to give Rockstar the benefit of the doubt.
Sure, of course they do.
And I'm not just saying that as someone who likes Red Dead.
No. I think you're 100% correct. And I think a lot of the amount of time it takes to earn a gold bar is not the issue. You're literally complaining about the amount of time it takes you to earn free money, because that's what gold is going to be. Gold is going to be the currency that you buy with real world money. So you're literally complaining about how much time it takes to earn real money. Sorry guys, you don't get to complain about that. You just don't, because they're giving you, in essence, in a way, right? Of course, it's not 1-to-1, but they're giving you free money every time while you're playing this game.
They're giving you a way to earn everything in the game. If you wanted to play for 1,000 hours, that way you can get a gold gun, go ahead, do it. You can earn your gold that way.
Sure, yes.
Instead of having to pay for it and buy for it.
Sure, yes, because that's what gold works. Gold works as a currency where you can bypass level restrictions.
I feel like the problem, from an outsider looking in, as someone who's not playing the game though, is I still think, I said this last week and I believe this, I think the level restriction for clothing and stuff like that is a problem. I get it for horses, I get it for guns,
sure,
but for clothing and stuff it shouldn't exist, and the fact that you can bypass that with premium currency, it looks like, is a problem.
Sure.
But I also think that the price of things, it depends on what the worth in actual money of a gold bar is, but I think the price of things is also a little bit of a problem.
Sure. So that's what I was getting at. So if I'm Rockstar,
that's what I was waiting for you, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, if I'm Rockstar and I'm about to launch this gold store, I would equate $10 of real world money as 100 gold pieces. That would be that's how I would make
gold
that
pieces or gold bars.
Gold bars. Sorry, gold bars. So when you pay $10, that little yellow number jumps up to 100.
Yeah,
that would be my estimate of what Rockstar is going to do, and that's from going. So Justin made a really good point. He's like, hey, if I'm going to spend $10 in this game, I want to at least buy a gun. I was like, that's a really good point. So if I'm going to spend $10, actually, you could end up buying 3 to 4 guns with $10 worth of real world money.
Well, I mean, that's how it was in GTA Online. Guns were so fucking cheap compared to what you're actually spending money on.
Exactly. And so I think that's a really good baseline, at least in my head. $10 is 100 gold bars. So when that store launches, we'll see what happens. However, going to the actual price of items in game, it's ridiculous because the payout for these games, especially like I think multiplayer games, last probably, I think people said anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 on a really long one, and you walk away with like $6, $4 to $6,
and that's not bad if your economy is balanced.
Exactly,
which it's not,
and it's not bad because that, you know, Rockstar's from the beginning has said they want Red Dead Online to be much more in a realistic setting than Grand Theft Auto Online. Grand Theft Auto Online is this crazy ass fucking thing where you've got $18,000 million and all this other shit. They want Red Dead to be grounded, right? More grounded in reality. So $2 a mission makes complete sense because history lesson. You guys ready for this? In 1899, an ounce of gold was worth about $20. You know, gold money. So if you take that as your baseline, people complaining like, hey, how come I'm only getting $1.20 for this gold ring? Well, it's because gold rings back then were, you know, maybe 0.2% of an ounce.
Yeah, but
so there's
the price of a can of baked beans.
Let me get there. Hold on, let me get there. So that makes, you know, getting $2 to $3 for a gold ring 100% accurate. However, paying $1,000 for a pistol or $1.50 for a can of beans, or, you know, 70, you know, how much is ammo? Ammo's about right. Anyway, all these things that there's just weird balancing issues that are just like, why is it $1.50 for a can of beans when I can go hunt and get better food, cheap, free, 100% free?
Not only that, it's 25 cents for hay.
Yeah, 25 cents for hay.
But it's also to your point though, like a can of baked beans
should be 10 cents.
Yeah, in no world is the value of a can of baked beans more than the value of a gold ring.
Exactly. So
I could go to the store now and get a can of baked beans cheaper than $1.50.
Yeah, I think you could.
I could get one for like
right.
50
no,
cents.
You're 100%
probably.
right. You're 100% right. Anyway, yeah, it's those balancing issues, and I understand where Rockstar is coming from. Rockstar is looking at food that replenishes health as more valuable.
Yeah.
Right. So they put more of a price tag on it. But what they didn't think about is like there's better food that gives you more health for free by hunting. You just got to put the time in it.
Well,
so like it's just weird. It's little things that need to be balanced. Like guns costing hundreds of dollars, especially just all the guns in general. I paid $495 for a Lancaster repeater. I should not have paid $495 for that fucking gun. If I'm paying a real world price for a Winchester 3030 in 1899, guess how much I would have paid?
$40.
Way less, maybe $16. In 1899, a rifle costs anywhere from $16 to maybe $40 for a really nice engraved looking rifle.
Well, my problem is the health items, they cost a ton. And sure maybe Rockstar, like you said, like they value those things higher, so maybe they should be.
And right, that's why, right.
But if I'm if I'm paying for this stuff and then I'm ingesting it because people keep killing me and my cores are just draining nonstop because I just keep dying, and I have no way of getting away from that, or if I'm feeding my horse every 2 minutes because he can't run that far without getting exhausted.
He can. You're just really hard on your horse.
No,
you're terrible on horses.
He just wasn't a good horse.
No, you're just real bad.
My second horse was better, but it's very expensive just to play the game.
Sure.
$495 in 1899 equates to $14,618.60 in 2017.
Yep. And that's what I mean. Like, I understand where they're coming from with putting prices on like they did. They want those to be more valued. They want you to have to work for that stuff. I understand. I get it. However, your balance, there's just a few things that the balancing is just way off.
Well, but that's where you have to make a choice as a developer, though. Like, are we going to use currency in the way that it would have been used in 1899, or are we going to choose to have it based off of a more modern? It depends on how currency works.
Sure.
It seems like they haven't made a choice. It seems like they're trying to straddle the fence,
and that's the thing.
And their economy's a mess because of it.
You choose one, right? You choose. Hey, do we want a gun that in today's world would be valued at $14,000? It's almost like that's what they did, right? Because in GTA Online, guess what a rifle costs in GTA Online? About $14,000.
Sure, but it doesn't cost that much at level 2. It's when you start getting into the later guns, like that you're unlocking as you level up.
Sure,
the guns become that expensive, so you can go and get a rifle for like $150 in GTA Online at level 2.
Well, you can in Red Dead too. That rifle doesn't open up till like level 18. Yeah. It's all still there. That's all. What you're saying is all still there. But my point being is that it's like they took GTA Online and one-to-one it to Red Dead Redemption Online in whatever currency that they have, and they just didn't take everything. And like I agree with you, they need to choose one. Either you make these guns this much money, but then like your payouts have to be unrealistic. If I finish a bounty, I better be getting like $60 instead of $2, or like at the end of missions, I better be getting like $150 instead of $20.
Well, but I feel like they balanced it really well in single player though. And it because you would go and do a bounty, and a bounty was anywhere from $25 to $50 depending on what the bounty was.
Sure.
But then there was also missions where you would get huge payouts.
But this is where we run into an issue too. It is still a beta, so there's not a ton to do in Red Dead Online. You can go do stranger missions, which pay out about $2 to $4 a piece. Online stuff pays out anywhere from like $4 to maybe $6. And then when you do your story missions, the first time through, all 8 story missions give you about $100, and then every 5 levels,
$100 per or $100?
$100 per.
Okay.
And then after you do the story missions, you can go back and play all the story missions. Then they only pay like $17 to $20.
Still really good.
It's not bad for the time you put in. And then you can also, every 5 levels after level 10, you get a treasure map, which gives you gold, which usually gives you anywhere from, I haven't figured it out yet, but it's almost 1 gold bar per treasure map. Because I had 3 gold bars at the start of today, which is just me doing stuff. So I had over 3 gold bars. So, and I'm level 17. So that's only 2 treasure maps. Anyway, my point being, there's definitely ways to earn money in game. And sometimes it seems like they're giving you plenty of money. Because like I said, I spent $490 on a fucking rifle yesterday. So it's doable. Playing the game, you can get all these things. And I'm not strapped for cash. I still have over $200. I use a little bit of gold, so I still have over 1 gold bar. So just playing the game, the economy's not fucked up if you just play the game. But if you do go crazy and you're like shooting everybody on sight, and that's the thing that goes back to video game developers romanticizing their games. They think this honor system they put into Red Dead Online is going to keep people sane from shooting each other and wasting ammo, but that's not how it works.
But to your point though, like going back to just playing the game and money and all that, like I have to say, like, as someone that has been busier than normal lately because I'm getting to the end of the semester, and we also have private events that are kicking up for my job. My free time is not as much as I'd like it to be. Sure. Also, a lot of my free time, like you've been teased me earlier, I've been prepping for D&D stuff, which I'm really enjoying doing and would rather be doing than playing Red Dead Online. And the main reason why is because, to me, the amount of time that I can invest in Red Dead Online versus the amount that I can make in in-game currency, it's not worth it. Like,
it is when you first start.
But I don't think that, like, yeah, sure. Playing through the story missions is probably worth it. But like jumping on,
because before you move forward, just as a really good example, Justin has literally played Red Dead Online for maybe 3 hours, maybe, because I played with him every single time. Maybe 3 hours. How much money do you actually have? Just regular money. I guarantee you, it's almost $200.
I spent some, but if I hadn't spent anything, it was probably like $200.
Yeah, which is pretty good for 3 hours.
It's pretty good, but like and the amount of time that I could put in a week, by the end of the week, I probably would still have the original horse. I might have some cool clothes. I might have a slightly better gun than you start with, but I feel like that's different than GTA Online, where I can jump in and put 2 or 3 hours in every night and be able to leave at the end of the week and have something really to show for it. And maybe part of that is that there's not much to show for anything right now because it's still early on in the game.
If you're comparing GTA Online now to Red Dead now.
No.
Because GTA Online at the beginning, where Red Dead is now, you could not do that.
But I feel like you could jump in and still leave at the end of the week and have a decent car and a decent gun.
In the first GTA Online, like at the beginning,
yes,
you could not.
I'm saying that, like, I feel like the time was better at original GTA 5 Online. I feel like you could jump in and play, and sure, you didn't have a whole variation in activities, but the way that the economy was balanced was that by the end of the week, if you put in, a couple hours every night,
Sure.
or maybe 5 to 10 hours over the course of the week, you could buy a decent car by the end of the week.
And you can do that in Red Dead easily.
But I don't know. Maybe it's the rewards aren't good enough, but it doesn't seem like I see the amount of money that you have, but I also see the amount of time that you've been playing.
Sure.
And I don't have your time, which means I don't have that money,
Sure,
which
but
means
I-
that at
but
the
I-
end of the week, someone, I don't know. It just doesn't seem
Yeah,
like it
but
would
that's
be
the thing
worth
is like the time I put in, I've had like over the course of Red Dead Online, I've had over $1,000 easily. Where like Rich is another really good example. Rich, who's been playing, I don't know, maybe 5 hours total since it's come out. So that's been in a week. He's got $400. You can easily buy a new horse with that because horse is only like, I think a horse, a step up. So like a step up car, a step up horse is $150 for a horse. You don't need a new gun. You just don't because the guns you start with are just fine. And plus, if you're on PlayStation, you get a free gun anyway. So you can, at the end of the week, if you literally played Red Dead Online 2 hours a night with us for an entire week, you'd easily be able to have an upgraded horse, probably an upgraded gun, and be decked out in whatever kind of clothes you wanted to wear other than the dumb level restrictions, which I agree with you. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does work.
Well,
it's just a matter of players. I don't know. It's the video game culture. They're complaining about shit. They have every right to complain about something.
I think it's broken, and I don't think it's good.
Sure.
But I also don't think that I don't think that it was put this way intentionally to screw over players.
Right.
I think
They might
that's
have
the
gone
difference.
extreme because it's a beta to
Yeah.
see how it works.
Yeah,
Of course.
I think that players are right when they've detected that something's wrong, but I think that people thinking that Rockstar is trying to fuck over its community
Sure.
because they have a premium currency coming,
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit. That might be the case, but it's more than likely that they just don't know
Sure.
what the economy looks like.
It could be the case, but sometimes I don't think it is because they even said the Rockstar Gold Store, whatever it's going to be called, was going to be live last week, and it didn't go live.
Yeah, they pushed it back.
They pushed it back.
Well,
so sure they
well,
might,
and
but,
that's
yeah.
it's possible, but I think it's more than likely that it's like, oh, we need to figure this out before
Sure.
we start charging people money for it.
Of course.
Because then you run into an issue where, say, in the next month, the value of how much gold you make or money make changes, and you sell someone $10 worth of gold in the first 2 weeks of the beta, you're gonna have to make up the amount of money that you
Sure.
already gave people,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be a whole fucking mess.
Yeah, and that was my thing too. I said it last night. I bought this rifle for $495. I don't regret it, but like in next week, actually, they said by the end of this week they'll have an update for the
balance,
economy.
yeah.
Hopefully by the end of this week, if I log on Friday and that rifle that I just paid $494 for is $90, it's like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Am I going to get some sort of compensation for that, or am I just going to have to chalk it up like, well, it's a beta and we were testing? Either way, I'm fine. I don't regret it because I have plenty of money.
Well,
but it's just like if it was real money, oh man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, and that's the thing with in-game currencies. You can get away with that.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to chalk it up to that as a
Yeah.
player. But if you spent money.
Which is smart why they didn't launch that store last week
Yep.
like they were going to.
Um,
Man, we gotta get, dude. We've been going a long ass time.
yeah, we
What
only
do
have three. We only have 3 items left. The last 2 are kind of long though.
Oh, I know, but
Rumors sprung up last week claiming Rocksteady, the creators of the Batman Arkham series, plan on announcing a new Superman game at the Game Awards. Rocksteady's co-founder, Sexton Hill, that's not right, it's Sefton. It's Sefton.
guess we know what you were thinking about.
I guess.
Heyo.
Announced via
Heyo.
Twitter that the studio's new game won't be at the Game Awards and, quote, spoiler, it's not Superman, end quote.
Did you see what the rumors saying it is now?
What is it?
A Court of Owls Batman game.
Sure, I'm down. That's it's one of the best Batman stories.
I could be down for that. Or you just make Under the Red Hood, and everybody would be happy.
They already did make Under the Red Hood. It's called Batman Arkham. Arkham.
No.
What's it called?
Arkham Knight.
What?
City?
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
It's
There you
not
go.
quite Under the Red Hood. Sort of like
It's.
Under
I
the
think it's better than Under the Red Hood.
Ouch.
Under the Red Hood's not bad, but I think they just did a better job.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't want a Superman game?
No, Superman. I watched Justice League for the first time.
Oh.
I've been thinking
By
about
choice?
doing that.
Yeah, of course, by choice.
do you wanna-
what is wrong with you?
Wait.
You are the most pretentious person when it comes to fucking movies. Guess
not
what?
true.
People just like to enjoy movies, Justin.
That's not
I
true.
enjoyed seeing Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg on the same fucking TV screen.
wait,
It
How
was
are you going to
great.
say I'm
Before-
the pretentious
hold on,
one
before we
whenever
go-
you scoff at any movie that doesn't have a lightsaber in it?
Before we go too much longer, let's save this for the post credit scene on our podcast.
But it has to do with Superman.
Definitely. But can we save it for the end? That way we can talk about it for as long as we want and not feel bad? Because you just said we needed to hurry.
No, we don't need to hurry because it's about Superman, and Superman's right here.
Just go ahead. Real quick.
No, Trey, don't get mad at me.
I'm not going to get mad at you. Do what you want.
I
I
won't
was
interrupt.
just trying to
Go.
hurry because you wanted to.
Justice League is a perfect example of why Superman is not going to work in a video game. Because guess what? That whole movie, they were in strife and peril the entire movie until Superman shows up, and then just it's a walk in the fucking park.
I agree.
That's why
Superman's the most uninteresting character because there's no real danger.
Wait, you're giving him shit. Didn't you go see Justice League in the theaters?
Yes.
Also,
So you're giving him shit because he chose to watch it when you two chose to watch
also Superman
No,
is not.
I give movies a chance.
Also,
it. You're such
it's true.
he's
If I-
he's just a pretentious moviegoer.
that's not even true.
Superman is not the most uninteresting character in video games, comics, or whatever. He's not.
Oh, I think he is.
Superman is actually extremely interesting. It's all the writer's fault that he's not interesting because I have read many Superman stories that were extremely good that had nothing to do with the fact that he was all powerful.
I think
It was about the moral choices that Superman has to make as a character. That's what makes him interesting. But the fact of the matter is that in this movie and in a video game setting, unless it's like a Telltale Superman game, it's not going to work because he's all powerful. You can't expect Rocksteady to make a Superman game where he has a health bar. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
no, you do Superman Year One. It's the
Yeah,
same.
sure.
It's why
Or
Smallville
that.
was
Yeah,
good.
or that. Well, Smallville, no. Yeah, sort of.
Smallville was great because at
But
the
he was-
beginning he couldn't even fly.
Yeah, but he was indestructible. He was still Superman.
Sure, but he also like was weak. He wasn't
Sure.
like flying around and
Sure.
spinning the earth to reverse time.
Sure, but it was about the moral choices that Clark made and as a teenager, right? That's what made Smallville interesting. Was the fact it wasn't the fact that he was Superman. That was just
It was him becoming Superman.
yeah. That was a part of the game. That was a part of the show. The interesting part of the show was Clark Kent and how he dealt with everyday life as being this weird ass alien dude. Anyway, but yeah. No, I don't want a Superman game because of that very reason.
Also, I just think Superman's an awful character. And it might be that there are cool writers out there that have written him well, but I think the problem with Superman is that the agreed upon characteristics of Superman that most writers take and use
Right.
are fucking horrible.
I agree, and again, like I said, I 100% agree with you. I just think it's the writers. I think there's been
well, I mean, it's the same thing with Batman. I didn't really care about Batman at all until Scott Snyder started writing him.
Oh, see, no, there's been some really great Batman
I've always thought his
stories.
Rogues Gallery was great, and I think there are great Batman stories. But like, I just did a paper for my English lit class about the Killing Joke, and Killing Joke is interesting.
Did they tell you your interpretation was wrong?
I haven't gotten the grade back yet,
But
but
your interpretation of Batgirl is wrong.
no, the Killing Joke is interesting because it's a good Joker story.
Sure.
And even though Batman has like he's a little bit more complicated than he at that time than he was in other books that came out during the same time, he's still not the most interesting part about that. I just think his Rogues Gallery and his friends. I forgot the word I'm looking for. His co-Batman
His
people.
Bat family.
Bat family. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, that works.
His bat friends.
Yeah, Bat
His
friends.
associates.
Yeah.
His Rogues Gallery and his
His Bat
associates are
associates.
way more interesting than he is.
Yeah, I think sure. And again, that's all down to writers because there has been really good Batman, like Nightfall when his back was broken, when Bane
never
broke
read
his back.
Nightfall.
So good because it's Bruce Wayne finally have to deal with it. Literally, finally, in the span of Batman, where Bruce Wayne has to deal with the fact that he is mortal, which is a great fucking story. But then Azrael takes the center stage, and that again, the Rogue is way cooler than Batman was.
And that's the cool, like real fast. If they are making a Court of Owls game,
great story.
I mean,
Fucking
everyone should read Court of Owls because it takes place after Batman has come back from the dead.
Yeah.
He's retaken the mantle from Dick Grayson, and the whole beginning of the story is him being
Back
completely
from the
arrogant.
dead.
Yeah,
You mean back from time traveling?
I guess. Shot with a time. He died so hard he went back in time. But what I don't get. You get shot with a time traveling bullet, right?
Yeah, something like that.
But it's still you're getting shot with a bullet.
you're getting shot.
So do you get shot back in time before you die?
I don't know. He went back to caveman times. Dude.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue what happened in that whole series.
But the whole thing about Court of Owls that's really cool is that Batman comes back and he thinks like, this is my city. I know it so well. And then he's suddenly aware of the fact that the city hates him. And then it sets a precedent for the rest of Scott Snyder's story because it's all about how Gotham is Batman's real antagonist. Even though this is the thing that he wants to protect and save, Gotham is constantly trying to think up ways to fuck him over.
Sure, but the problem is that nobody understands that, right? Nobody understands why Death in the Family wasn't a Batman story; it was a Bat Family story.
Yep.
It was the idea that these people that Bruce had relied upon for years and years and years don't trust him. They've never trusted him.
Yep.
And the fact
And
that
it's all his fault.
And it's all his fault. All of it. And that, but again, once again, movie people and video game people don't get it.
Batman is a messiah story.
Right,
Loses his
exactly.
memory, gets reborn, gets to live his life as a philanthropist, but has to come back as Batman and give it all up and have all his horrible memories back.
Which is why we say all the time.
Because he cares about Gotham.
Yeah, which is why we say all the time. There's a reason people like Nightwing and Jason and Barbara and both Damian and fucking who's the third Robin? Tim. There's a reason everybody likes them better. Batwoman, the lesbian girl. Like, everybody loves these people so much better because they're way more interesting than Batman or Bruce is.
Yep. Yeah.
People like Rocksteady.
But it's because writers are more willing to do crazy stuff with them. Because
Exactly.
you don't want to subvert what people think of Batman.
Very true.
All right, we got 2 long ones.
Yeah, Justin, so stop being pretentious with movies. Fuck.
GameStop has released its third quarter fiscal report, which ended on November 3rd, showing an overall net income loss of $488.6 billion.
Remember that Friday reference you made earlier? That's where you get.
I'm sorry, $1 million, not billion. $1 million, not billion. Pre-owned sales were down 13.4% compared to the previous quarter, which is the core of what GameStop's company is rooted in. But despite the company's loss, sales were up for new hardware, specifically with Xbox One X and PS4 sales at 12.8%, and software sales increased by 10.9%. Accessories also increased by 32.6%, heavily due to the headset and controller sales. Rob Lloyd, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer at GameStop, said they did experience growth overall in the most recent quarter. Lloyd said the growth can be heavily attributed to high-selling game titles this year, including Red Dead Redemption 2 and Marvel Spider-Man. GameStop has lowered their expectations for its fourth quarter earnings and is predicting sales will lean more towards hardware than they had initially planned, while also having underperformance in pre-owned sales in certain games, resulting in losses higher than they previously expected. Certain games, including Fallout 76. There's pictures online of all these stores that way overstocked on Fallout 76, thinking it was going to sell like Fallout 4.
Oops.
And then it didn't.
Whoopsie.
So GameStop's dead.
4 years.
4 years.
I said last year, in 5 years, GameStop's going to be dead. 4-year countdown begins.
4 more years from now?
Yeah, maybe less. But I say 4 years.
I don't know how they're not losing money on all the fucking geek store shit.
Oh,
they
no.
have.
Well, because Whitney keeps them in
geek.
business.
Yeah, but they also have thousands of stores.
Sure. You're all right over there?
I don't know what happened.
Well, actually, no. I'll tell you why. Because on Black Friday, I was in line waiting to get my cheap copy of Horizon Zero Dawn, and the lady in front of me was like this old, I would venture to say redneck grandmother, who was on the phone with her grandson.
Hey, man, there ain't nothing wrong with those rednecks.
Who was on her phone with her grandson, and she was FaceTiming him, and just every little thing in the store, she was like, What's a Hatchimal? Do you like Hatchimals? Do you want one of these? Oh, he's like, no, I don't want a Hatchimal.
Just get me Fallout 76 and come home, Grandma.
She's like, oh, do you see that over there? It was a fucking toilet paper spitball shooter. And she was like, you want that, don't you? Let me get 2 of those.
I want that. What is it?
It's like you put a roll of toilet paper and a thing of water and it mixes it together and it makes spitballs for you. Chris's face is amazed.
I want it.
Why are you telling? I live with him. Our house is going to be covered in
my
fucking
God, it's
spitballs.
Get it for White.
Toulouse is going to be.
Stop talking about it, Justin.
Or Toulouse
Get it for White Elephant.
Or Toulouse is going to be covered in spitballs.
Anyways, it's people like that buy all of that.
No, unfortunately, it is not people like that keep GameStop in business. It is people like me who keep GameStop in business, who will go to GameStop above Target or Walmart,
or the better choice,
Amazon, because I still like physical things and I still want to get physical stuff. And to be completely honest with you, even though Walmart, Target, HEB, Amazon, Best Buy not Best Buy, all those other things offer convenience. I just like walking in. I know who I'm going to go talk to. I know the person that's working at the time, so I have somewhat of a relationship with them. I walk in. It's literally my GameStop visits, if we're not looking at pop figures, last all of 2 minutes. I walk in. Hey, I'm here to pick up my copy of Red Dead. Boom, boom, boom. How you doing? I'm good. How's life? Sweet. You excited about Red Dead? Oh, yeah. Don't play Fallout. It really sucks. Sweet. I know. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take the survey. Got it. I'm gone. Guys like me are what are keeping GameStop in business. Because guess what? PS5 comes out. Guess where I'm going to go buy PS5? GameStop. Because it's just easy. I can just go there and get it. I don't have to deal with Walmart. I don't have to deal with Target. I don't like electronic things, so I don't like buying shit on Amazon.
Oh man,
I love Amazon.
After buying Dungeon of the Mad Mage on Amazon and how like easy of a process that was, and how significant, like the fact that it was $30 cheaper than what it was. I actually took my copy of Dragon Heist back to Barnes and Noble. I kept the map, and then I bought another copy for $35 cheaper than I bought it on, and it's going to be here tomorrow for Amazon.
That's great. Amazon is the best thing in the world.
I don't have to wait for shipping. I don't have to worry about maybe somebody stealing shit. I don't have to maybe worry about stuff getting lost in the mail. I don't have to worry about any of that. I walk into a store, 2 minutes, and I'm done.
Amazon, most of the stuff you buy, most adults don't want to steal, so you're safe.
Yeah, no, you're 100%.
I'm not trying to be mean.
No, but you're 100% correct. But my point being is that people like me are what keeping GameStop in business, because I am spending hundreds of dollars, possibly thousands of dollars still at GameStop. And that's why they're still in business.
I don't know, though.
However,
and then people like us are slowly
stabbing. My generation is slowly either dying out of video games or not really, or moving into the whole Amazon thing.
I think, though, from what I've gathered from this thing, customers like you are kind of the problem, though, because sure, yes, if there's a game you really want and it's pre-owned and you have enough coupons and stuff, you're going to buy it.
We don't buy pre-owned games anymore.
It's very rare.
Sure.
But the majority of the stuff that you buy is brand new, and their business is made up in pre-owned sales. Mm-hmm. So to your point, I think customers like you are part of the issue, and the fact that there's not customers like random grandma that are coming in and buying shit from them is the bigger issue. Because like the amount of money that they're not making as compared to the fact if you're buying
You're
pre-owned.
saying I'm one of the issues why they're going under.
Yeah, because,
I agree.
Because their customer base is people that have been shopping there for a while.
Right.
Now that they're older, they're all buying stuff brand new, or they're buying collectibles instead of selling pre-owned shit.
I was getting to that point. I really was.
Oh,
like
okay.
my literally
We're
next
the same
point.
person.
I know, like legitimately, this entire podcast is me talking about something, and you finish what I'm talking about. I was getting to that point. I was like, but I am also part of that problem where it's like I buy everything new. I don't buy pre-owned because pre-owned fucking sucks. I'm not going to spend $5 less on your stupid fucking Fallout 76 pre-owned. I can get it brand new for $5 more.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. We've been saying it since we worked at GameStop. I worked for that company for 7 fucking years, and I told every single boss that I ever had that this is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. That is not the. Oh my god, whatever.
I remember buying.
I'm so mad today, Everett.
I remember buying. I remember buying a new game instead of the pre-owned one for slightly more, just because I liked the case more. I was like, like the pre-owned case had kind of like an ugly looking case, and I was like, I want the nice looking one.
The only issue I see in this is that like the collectible market is really starting to favor retail shops like GameStop. So GameStop and Hot Topic and all these real like heavy retail chains are starting to get collectibles first, and unfortunately comic book shops are getting them second. Which really sucks.
That's one of the best things about Wizards of the Coast, though, is that they do their launches in comic book stores beforehand, and so many other businesses aren't following that model, so they're fucking over the brick and mortar stores.
Right? Yeah, sure, but. Yes.
I was agreeing with you.
Yes, I completely agree. But the point being is that we go to GameStop for most of our pop figures. Mm-hmm. We go to Hot Topic for most of our pop figures because while I would rather go to Dragon's Lair or Heroes and Fantasies and buy our pop figures, they don't get them for like 2 months after they release in stores at GameStop and Hot Topic. So why would we wait that long? And those are, I think, a pretty heavy contributing factor to why GameStop may be still head above water. But then you look at their pop wall. Good God. We buy pops like crazy, but their pop wall just... What? There's just shit everywhere.
It's a mess.
They buy so many pops and they don't sell through them.
Well, and that's the thing about the comic book stores is like the shit that like isn't worth collecting, they don't have nearly as much on their shelves.
Right.
So when you go to Dragon's Lair specifically, everything on their wall is something that I want to buy.
Yep.
And they don't have 1,000
because
fucking...
they understand collector markets.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they don't have 1,000 fucking Han Solos.
Yeah.
But that's also how Funko gets places like GameStop. Is
Yep.
it's like, oh, you really want this rare Darth Vader pop? Well, we need you to buy 1,000 units of
Right, exactly.
of this young Han Solo.
Yeah, you want this?
Oh, you mean you don't want the royal wedding pop figures?
No, definitely not. Nope.
No,
That's
but
the
they
thing
do want
at GameStop.
But they do want the Darth Vader with candy cane lightsaber, and Chewbacca covered in Christmas lights. Just anyway.
Yeah.
I like I said, 4 years or less, and I don't think GameStop's going to be around, or it's not. I think I specifically said GameStop is not going to look the way it looks right now in 4 years.
I hope so, because it's the only. I mean, outside of like places like D-Pad, local, brick and mortar mom
Game
and pop
Over,
shops,
stuff like that. Yep.
there's not a business like that out there.
Yep.
And for me, I'm not really operating at a loss because I think digital is the perfect future. And I know that people don't agree, but I love digital games and I support
Sure,
that business.
sure.
And I think it's better for developers and publishers. And I think it's better for the console
Sure, I agree,
manufacturers.
but I don't get my map.
True. But then you could buy a really cool map from Etsy that's super stylized and better than the
From
cheap one they
Etsy?
put in the box.
Etsy, no, thank you. I don't support striving artists. Fuck those guys. No, last point though, real quick, is that oh shit, what was I gonna say? Never mind. Damn
Never
it.
mind.
I feel like I had a really good point. It probably wasn't really good, but I think it's good, and I kind of wanted to say it, but now I can't remember.
Well, if you remember, let me know.
Okay.
This is my favorite. Buckle up, everyone. Best story of the week, best story of the year. Nothing's going to beat this. In fact, this is the end of the podcast because this story is so good.
But there's still quick save.
Yeah, there is, but of main news. Epic Games Battle Royale shooter, Fortnite, I don't know why that's not in there, is getting more flack for allegedly contributing to video game addiction in kids. Fortnite has come under fire once again for having a detrimental effect on younger players. A child psychologist claims that there has been a marked increase in kids attending counseling on account of video game addiction, which may or may not be tied to the uptake of players since the game's launch. Bloomberg reports on a number of parents and professionals recounting their experiences on Twitter that include a 17-year-old playing for 12 hours a day and falling asleep in class, to over half of certain groups of kids getting counseled for video game addiction at a handful of camps in North Carolina for playing games in excess. It's not only kids who are having these issues, as professional athletes are falling prey to the addictive nature of Fortnite. The National Hockey League's Vancouver Canucks had so much trouble, getting players to meetings and dinners, they banned Fortnite on the road. David Price, star pitcher for the Major League Baseball's World Series winning Boston Red Sox, was scratched from a May start against its arch rival New York Yankees because of wrist problems that may have been exacerbated by Fortnite playing. Fortnite is even being linked to divorce. The AV Club reports that over 200 divorce proceedings have cited Fortnite as an issue. I love how Fortnite is being cited as the cause of the fall of modern American civilization. It is so fucking funny to me.
It sounds like whenever you play Plague Inc. and you name your disease.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like someone made their disease Fortnite and it's just slowly taking over the world.
And I don't understand it.
I don't understand why this is the game.
Well, I don't understand why Fortnite's a game. I just don't get it.
But I do think I'm glad that something is kind of bringing this issue to light.
Sure, we've talked about video game addiction before, and
recently in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I fully believe it's a thing. I can't remember what we all said, but I fully believe
I
that
think
video
we all
game.
ended with it being a thing.
I
We all
fully
agreed.
believe video game addiction is 100% a real thing, and it should be considered serious if it's bad enough.
And I think it's a thing that like we know as people that are part of the culture, but I don't think it's widespread too much into mainstream culture.
Sure.
And so no one's looking at it from a professional standpoint of how to actually address the problem.
I don't think it's ever been this widespread of a problem, though.
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever heard of a fucking professional athlete being striked from a start because his wrist hurt because he was playing fucking Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean?
I think the last time it was reported as big as Fortnite's being reported right now.
It's GTA 4.
No, I think it's World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
But I think part of the reason why it's being reported even more right now is the fact that it's on literally every device, which means that you can play it on anything. So you're not restricted to having to go home and play it on a desktop.
Well, and not only that, there's so many freaking dances and everything else. So like even whenever the kids aren't playing it, it's like, oh, look at my floss. Look at me do this dance from Fortnite.
That wasn't a Fortnite dance.
But it's in Fortnite.
Sure, but it wasn't a Fortnite dance.
Okay,
It was
but
a
what
Destiny dance.
I'm saying is there's there's a lot of impressionable kids who can do these things outside of the game, and parents are like, oh, god damn it, Fortnite.
But like, is that necessary? I think though, to play devil's advocate on that point though, I don't think that's an issue. I think that like if you really love something and you're talking about it with your friends and it's like building a little bit of a culture at your school, I think that's actually probably healthy. Because I know that there were so many kids at my school that I would have never talked to had they not known that I loved video games as much as I did, and they knew they could come talk to me about Fallout or Fable or whatever was coming out at the time. The social part of being into a game like this, I think, is extremely healthy. But you just can't get away from Fortnite. You just can't. Like, I can't imagine loving that game but also having a phone that I can play it on.
Well, I think too, though, it does. I think it spreads to all games. I would venture to guess that there are cases out there in the world right now of kids falling asleep in class because of Red Dead Online, or college students falling asleep in class because of Fallout 76. It's just that, like you said, Fortnite is on everything.
Yeah.
And it's literally everywhere. You can't even watch like actual syndicated television without seeing a Fortnite commercial, or you can't even look up anything on your phone without seeing Fortnite's on your phone. Download today. And I think that's why, like you said, Fortnite is such a central thing because it's made itself. Epic has made Fortnite so central in the mind of not only video games or video gamers in general, but just the world as a whole. Everybody knows what Fortnite is, and you know, I guess good on Epic's marketing team, but at the same time, like, hey, you guys might have just shot yourself in the foot a little bit here, guys.
You know, but to your point, you know, with Red Dead, like, part of the benefit of that game is you put it down and you walk away from it.
Right, exactly.
And I know as a kid, like, playing 12 hours of a video game that I had to play on a console was literally impossible. There was not enough time for me in a day between school, after school activities, and then coming home and going to bed.
But that's a recognition that you recognize.
Yeah.
A recognition that
But, like,
that's the thing you recognize, where this kid does not recognize
but if
that.
I had a game on my phone, I'd be playing it in between classes.
Sure,
I'd probably
yeah.
be playing it in class. I'd be playing it after school. I'd be playing it while I'm waiting for my parents to pick me up. I'd be playing it before dinner. I'd be playing it in bed.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, it never goes away. You can never get away from it.
Yeah, it's very true. But again, like going to the addiction thing, like I was saying, it's this kid's not recognizing the fact that there's not enough time in the day for you to be playing a game for 12 hours straight. Yeah. There's just not. And that's you know, I think I say this about everything. I say this about everything when it comes to parenting. Is this sure? I think the kid's at fault, and maybe video game companies can be at fault, but a lot of this has to do with their parents.
Yeah, I don't think the kid's at fault at all. I think that
I think it's a matter of recognizing, like, if you're 12 years old, you should be able to recognize, depending on your parenting, which I think is the core root of a lot of the things involving kids in video games, is parenting. But I think as a 12-year-old, you should be conscious enough to realize I shouldn't be playing Fortnite for 12 hours straight.
But that, like, you can have that thought, but also not fully understand the repercussions.
That's right.
Like, I don't know. Like,
I was 12 and understood the repercussions of shit.
But you're also not a normal human being.
Yes, I am.
But like, really, because
coming from a normal kid, like, I mean, okay, so you're talking about 12-year-old kids who won't do their homework, don't give two shits about studying for
and
things.
whose fault is that?
But what I'm saying is, as a kid, I know I should be doing these things, but I don't care.
Right,
because
but whose fault is
college is so far away that it doesn't matter.
But whose fault is that?
What do you mean?
That's what I mean.
I think
it is the kid's fault for not recognizing or not acting on the impulse, like, hey, I shouldn't be doing this.
But I don't think they have that. They don't have the hindsight of,
yes,
like,
they
I
do.
should
They're
have done
12 years old. If you have the hindsight to realize what you're going to have for breakfast the next day, you have the hindsight to fucking tell yourself to stop playing a video game.
I don't know if that's the case.
Or if you have the hindsight to make plans to go watch a movie with your friends on a Friday night, you can stop yourself from playing a fucking video game.
I think
it's just a matter of doing it.
I think impulsiveness is the problem, though. I think that as a 12-year-old kid, and also, I don't think this problem changes until you're in your 20s, really. I think that our brains are programmed to go do the thing we want to do. So if you left it up to most kids, like, You can do anything you want today. You can eat whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. What are you going to do? The kid's going to be like, well, I'm going to play Fortnite for 12 hours, eat pizza for every meal, and have ice cream in between my pizzas. Like, because that's how kids are programmed. And I think that's where the parents come in and say, well, you can't have pizza for every meal. You can't play Fortnite for 12 hours. But you know what? You can play Fortnite for 2 hours before bed after you finish your homework, and you're going to have vegetables with your pizza.
Right.
You know, like, and I think
You
like,
can have a Supreme pizza.
Pineapple pizza.
Supreme pizza, light sauce, no cheese.
but I think that's like, sure, kids should be smarter, and some kids are. I do think you're right. There are kids out there that were like you that weren't as impulsive, but I was a really impulsive kid. Like, I have always struggled throughout my life from, 8 years old to 25 years old. I have a really addictive personality. I get really addicted to things. And so I struggle all the time with combating that. And part of the reason why it wasn't an issue for me as a kid was because my parents gave a shit and paid attention, and they knew that about me.
Sure.
I wish I had been better, but if you'd asked me at 12 years old what I wanted to do, it's play Halo for 12 hours and eat pizza and ice cream for every meal, you know?
Yeah, I guess. But again, I was getting to, I do think the child could be at fault, but he can't be held at fault because he's only, like Justin's saying, he's only 12.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but the parents, the overlying everything when it comes to the kids, it's the parents. Now, the Major League Baseball player, come on, bro. Dude, you're getting paid $12 million a fucking year, and you just got cut from a start because you were playing Fortnite? Bro, what the flying fuck, dude?
Yeah.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? 12 million. I don't even know how much he gets paid. Did you say he was a starting pitcher? He might get paid $100 million over 4 years.
Yeah.
And he just fucking fucked himself because he was playing Fortnite too much.
Well, I mean, the Canucks are a huge hockey team. They're a huge hockey team.
Canucks.
I don't care. I still think it's football armor. Why would I care what the
Good call.
Canucks are called? But they're a huge hockey team. The fact that I know the name, even if I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
And they've literally banned Fortnite on the road because the people couldn't be bothered to come to dinner on time.
It's just fucking, it's that right there is just, that one I can't fathom.
Yeah,
you know me as an adult. I am the most analytical, logical asshole of all of us. And just the idea that a video game, I understand losing track of time. I lost track of time today when I was playing Destiny. You was like, hey, I'll see you at the podcast. It's like, oh, yeah, no problem. It's like, then it dawned on me, it's like, wait, Trey doesn't leave till like, what time is it? It's like 5:20. Oh, shit, it's 5:20. You lose track of time. That's not a big deal. But when you're paid millions of dollars every year and all you have to do is show up for practice, dinner, and play a game, and you're too busy playing Fortnite that your fucking road managers have to ban a video game from the road? Guys.
But you know,
David Price, the pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, gets paid $31 million every year.
$31 million a year, and he fucked his starting spot in a game because
of Fortnite. He has a
Fortnite.
$217 million contract stretched out over 7 years.
wow.
But hey, as long as he got that victory.
That one I can't fathom. I don't understand
Well,
it.
I
I
mean-
don't understand that one.
I don't know.
Why is it Fortnite? It's Fortnite.
Well, I mean, but
it's
like,
not that good.
But that's the thing, though. Like, think about the biggest video game trends in the last couple of years.
Overwatch
Like,
is better than Fortnite.
yeah, but I don't know that Overwatch's gameplay loop is any different than Fortnite's.
It's kind of my point. Why is it Fortnite?
Because I think it's the art style. I know that sounds stupid. That sounds so stupid.
But Overwatch is the same.
But Overwatch is also only on it's on PC and consoles.
Oh, sure, but it's not on phones and all this other shit.
Exactly.
I think
It's also not free.
I think it's just.
I
I think it's
also-
the pop culture hive mind of it all.
I
I think that's what it is.
I also think Overwatch isn't accessible to new
Oh,
players
it's not.
anymore.
Yeah, it's 100% not. You have to have a certain skill gap to play Overwatch.
Yeah.
Fortnite, you can just run in and you could
You can do fairly well and not
you
be
could
good
end
at
up
the game.
you could end up winning your first match if you have a basic understanding of the game.
The first battle royale game that we ever really saw or played was that
H1Z1.
H1Z1, and I was like number 3, and I didn't shoot anyone.
Yep.
I don't think I fired my gun once, and I ended up number 3 in that.
You're just good at hiding.
I'm really good at hiding. It's a great skill. I have a expertise in stealth. But yeah, I think it's the skill gap. I think it's the fact that it's on literally everything, and I also think that its art style is really unique. It's even more unique than
Sure,
Overwatch's.
yeah.
And I think it stands out and it attracts people.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's that, and I also kind of agree with Justin. I think it's that hive mind thing. It's the same reason Player Unknown, what the fuck is it called?
Battlegrounds.
PUBG, yeah. the reason that blew up in such a fucking huge way, only in the gamer community, was because of that hive mind of the gamer community. Epic, on the other hand, has billions of dollars to spend on marketing, so they were able to reach the hive mind of the general public and make it work.
Well, not only that, their biggest streamer, Ninja, decided, let's stream with Drake.
Yeah,
and
or
then all of a sudden,
wasn't Ninja like on Life magazine or Time, the cover of Time magazine?
Probably. He's been on Oprah. He's been on all these.
Well, I mean,
who the fuck is Oprah? I'm just kidding.
But to like Fortnite's credit though, like. From all intents and purposes, it's a fairly the game functions really well.
Yep,
it's balanced pretty well. It doesn't seem to have a lot of issues. Whereas PUBG really fucked itself over because throughout the entire year of us talking about PUBG, the one phrase that was associated with that game is, well, yeah, it was in beta, but also the one phrase that was associated with that game even after launch is jank is a feature.
Yeah.
Then you have a game come out like Fortnite that has this great art style, doesn't look nearly as generic, is polished, and also has Drake and Ninja and all these other people behind it.
It's crazy to me that I saw I was at RTX whenever Fortnite or Epic was there.
It's all about you, Justin.
I was at RTX whenever Epic was there, and they kind of showcased Fortnite, and
so were we that first year when they were showing it.
Pre-orders were open
always,
and it was just the save the world thing. Like the battle royale was not a thing.
And
I could never imagine this would be a thing.
BT Dub was a really fun mode. That 4-player mode was actually a lot of fun. I don't even know if it's still in the game.
I think they're still working.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
it was a really fun. It was a really fun mode. Still in alpha. But yeah, but again, all of this, I still stand by the fact that Fortnite is going to die. Like my definition of dying by next year. It's going to be.
I don't know.
It's going to
next year is in like
2019.
I don't know. I think it's going to die in the same way that Minecraft has died, where we're not talking.
Or
but
PUBG died.
But I don't think that's going to happen next year.
We've talked about this definition of what I mean by dying. 2019, it'll be 2019.
Well, but here's the thing, though.
This is going to contribute to it.
You're not giving yourself credit because you were right about PUBG. Like, it died in a really drastic way. It did. It died the way that you had initially talked about before we had a 4-hour conversation and agreed upon a different definition of dying.
Yeah, it's all about trends, right? You just have to watch trends in video games, and there's always a trend in video games that ends up dying. Mortal Kombat was a perfect example in the 90s.
We'll see. I feel like Fortnite still has a couple more years, though, but I also said it about PUBG. And I was wrong,
maybe.
So.
But I think this might contribute to it to an extent, but trends die. They just do.
It's funny,
like Ninja, guess what, guys? Ninja doesn't play Fortnite on Twitch as much as he used to. He's not.
Well, he's also been getting in a lot of trouble lately because of his fucking attitude and the fact that he thinks that Epic are his bitches.
Yeah, sure. Point being is like the biggest Twitch streamer of all fucking time made his career on Fortnite isn't really playing Fortnite anymore. Drake doesn't play Fortnite on Twitch anymore. A lot of people aren't playing Fortnite on Twitch anymore. They are. Sorry. There's a shit ton of people playing Fortnite on Twitch, but those guys, they're not paying Fortnite anymore. So.
If I were Epic, I would have been like, Ninja, you need to stop playing Fortnite as much because you're doing bad shit for our company.
Yeah, seriously.
He was seriously like, did you hear this? There was a stream where he suspected someone of stream sniping him. And he and his friends, someone said like, if you're watching this right now, dance. And right as he finished saying that, this guy danced. Because he had just killed Ninja and it was a big deal. And Ninja goes, well, I'm going to report you. And then he says, I'm going to text Epic and make sure that something's done about this. So he reports the guy, picks up his phone, texts Epic, and the Fortnite community lost their shit.
All because somebody danced after he killed him? Doesn't that happen in every game? Was it actually a stream snipe?
It wasn't.
That's my point.
It was because the guy. So the guy, it turns out he had a better internet connection than Ninja did. So he was the lag difference is what got him. Basically.
I was listening to a thing about Destiny earlier, and this guy was just ranting about Destiny. It showed up on my YouTube playlist, so I just let the autoplay go, and he's ranting about Destiny, blah blah blah. And he must be big shit because he was losing in Gambit, and the first thing he went to was like, "We must be being stream sniped. We have to be being stream sniped, blah, 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 all this other shit. We've played these same guys 3 times in a row. They're stream sniping us." And like, dude, get your fucking ego out of your ass. Well, nobody's fucking stream sniping you.
That's the thing, like, it is a problem.
Sure, it's a problem.
God, there's this guy, I don't know his real Twitch name, but there's a YouTube channel that like takes the worst part of his streams and like makes videos. It's called Lord of the Wings.
Awesome.
Because the guy is really, really fat. And the
That's
guy's
fucked up, man.
This guy's kind of like this big baby. He's constantly like throwing fits and like crying.
It's like Francis.
But he's a real person.
Oh God.
And so he gets stream sniped all the time because his viewers hate him.
Sure.
And so they'll pay people, like if they see someone playing a game against him on PlayStation,
They'll get a hold of him.
This is 100% real. They will message the guy and pay them to watch his stream and beat him just so they can watch this guy freak out.
So I agree. Stream sniping's real. That's the best. That's the best thing of stream sniping I've ever heard. But if you're gonna be ninja, just be ready for stream
Stop playing
sniping.
multiplayer games.
Yeah,
If it matters that much.
yeah,
to you.
like fucking just get over it. Anyway, next year. I'm not by Fortnite, but next year we're not gonna be talking about Fortnite as much as we are.
3 quick saves this week. Rockstar Games has clarified earlier comments that some Red Dead Online progress from the beta might not carry over to the final game.
Yeah, you're right. Saying
there are not any plans to reset rank or stats progress.
I want to know where that came from.
That was just
They said that. They said that in the initial announcement that it's possible that we're going to reset progress.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was more so just kind of them covering their asses, like, hey, in case this happens, like it's a beta. Don't forget.
Or that's just a general checkbox in the beta. It's like, hey, this could happen.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm glad it's not. I'm very happy with the way my dude looks, number one, which took a long ass time. 3 resets of a character to get my guy the way I really like him to look, and I'm pretty far. I'm like level 18, so.
THQ Nordic has acquired yet another IP. This time it's Carmageddon from Stainless Games. They are very nice people. We met them at RTX. I hope they made lots of money from the sale.
My God. THQ Nordic.
Yep.
What are they doing?
Buying everything.
Why?
They're making some Smash Bros thing, except with their
Every other game. All these IPs that no one cares about.
Saints Row 5 is actually like every fucking IP in one Saints Row.
Super Failure Bros Brawl.
Hang on. I totally see that happening. I totally see a game like Saints Row, which you just cannot take that game anywhere near serious. Taking all these IPs, not Carmageddon, but taking a shit ton of these IPs and just throwing them into Saints Row and making Saints Row this crazy fucking thing.
One of the problems with
Did I just stumble upon a prediction?
One of the problem with THQ Nordic though is
2019 E3 crazy prediction.
It's a post-Rage 2 world. Anything can happen. But one of the problems with THQ Nordic though is a lot of these games that they've bought rights to, they've only bought rights. They only have ownership over future IP rather than past IP.
Oh, okay.
So I would imagine in the case like we talked about with Kingdoms of Amalur.
Sure.
Future games they completely own, but
Sure.
the past games they can't do anything with them
Yeah.
because they are owned by EA.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I still stand by it.
Last up, registration for Anthem's closed alpha tests closed yesterday, and it goes live on December 8th and 9th.
Been registered for a month now.
Have you?
Yeah, something like that. I don't. Whenever they opened, I don't know how long ago it was. It wasn't too long. I was registered quick.
PlayStation.
Oh yeah, PS4,
Registered for the beta or the alpha?
the alpha.
I think registration just opened like a month ago. Did you register?
Yeah, that's what I mean
Oh,
for
cool.
the alpha. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm also registered for the beta.
Well, I know you were registered for the
Yeah,
beta. I just didn't know about the alpha.
I gotta.
Well,
I
tell us
gotta,
how it is. Yeah.
I don't, dude. Alphas are hard to get into. I've only been in one total.
For what?
It was,
I've been in Destiny's alpha.
oh, 2. Damn it! I was in Destiny's alpha. It was an MMO, and it was. Fuck! What was it called?
Was it the furry one? The one with like all the animals?
The Sonic one?
No,
The
what was
furry
the
one?
It came out in like in 2016 or 2017 with all
Space Wildstar. Is that the one you were thinking
Yeah,
of?
that was the one.
Yep, Wildstar. I was in Wildstar's alpha. Wildstar just closed. They had shut the servers down a couple days ago.
Damn, you were there day one.
No, I was there day one. I didn't stay,
No.
but it was a fun game. Yeah.
In case anyone was worried, you can go play the legacy servers on Lord of the Rings Online if you really want to.
Is Lord of the Rings shut down?
No, it's still going,
I
which is
thought
why
so,
they're
yeah.
releasing legacy servers.
Oh wow, Lord of the Rings Online actually wasn't bad.
I just
take
can't
that back.
imagine
It was
that-
kind of bad,
I can't
but it was
imagine-
really cool being in that world.
I just can't imagine that they have the player base to justify having a legacy server.
Weird. You
What
can play
would-
RuneScape on your phone.
I
got
mean,
that going.
if Lord of the Rings Online can justify legacy servers, I guess SWTOR is not going anywhere anytime
Yeah,
soon. Shit, man. Because I think the last time I checked, SWTOR is still over 1 million subscribers, so it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but
Really?
it's just not growing.
Like that, like paying subscribers.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong. I could be pulling that out of my ass because that's on par with Destiny. So no, I'm sorry. Destiny has 1 million concurrent players. That's where they're sitting at right now.
Well, but also subscribers don't.
Actually, let me see what Destiny's at since Black.
Subscribers don't equate to concurrent players.
You're right. You're
because there's people
100%
like
right.
you that have been paying for 6 years, and
I stopped playing for SWTOR a long time ago. But I just got the bill. I'm paying for WoW, and I haven't logged into WoW for like a month. Like, God damn it! Destiny tracker. Let's see where Destiny's at right now, because of Black Forge.
Black Armory.
Whatever.
Topic of the week.
Total track players is 13.5 million as of yesterday. Only 835K in Crucible, which is very low for Crucible. Crucible is usually higher than PvE, and yesterday PvE clocked in at 1.1 million.
Wow.
Well, he's dead, everybody.
But that makes sense though, because I think the Forge mode had gone live before Black Armory came out.
Oh, did it?
So I think a lot of people were probably in PvE doing that.
Oh, I didn't know that. We'll see what it is. I want to see what it is tomorrow. I'll check tomorrow evening, see what it is since Black Armory launched.
Yeah. Well, if you guys like what we do, please subscribe to us on YouTube.
Did you say subscribe?
Subscribe.
It sounded like you said subscribe.
Nope, I might have, but that's not what I intended to say. I don't know for sure, but I don't think I said that.
Hang on, before we go on, you guys got to see this.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, and on YouTube. You can follow the show on Twitter at Twinstick Radio or on Facebook at facebook.com/Twinstick Radio. We are all on Twitter as well. I am at Darth Trey. Chris is at Short Change Hero with a 3 instead of the E in Hero. And Justin is at Justin T. Lopez. The show is edited and produced by Everett Jordan. Give him a follow on Twitter at the56th. All letters, no numbers. And our theme song is by the great Connor Manning. Check out the stuff he does for Downstream Studios and follow him on Twitter at Connor13, one in Connor, 13 spelled out.
The Great. Connor the Great.
He's great. I love our theme song.
Stay tuned to our Twitter for the further adventures of Edward Cullen. I'm sorry, damn it, not Edward Cullen.
Oh my God!
That's the Twilight guy.
Twilight! A vampire cowboy.
Dude, that sounds great. Not the Edward Cullen guy. Cullen Valentine, El Chorizo, and J-Law.
Edward Cullen and El Chorizo, right?
No, Edward Cullen, the vampire and the Mexican. Oh my God, that sounds like a great book too.
I wouldn't read it.
Yeah, you would. What have you? If I told you I have a book for you to read that was about a vampire that goes to Mexico?
You give me shit for not reading, but do you read?
No. Have I read? Yes.
That's not not
the question. It's also not redeeming.
I just got so much shit for saying that like I didn't want to read 3 months ago, but then this little shit over here has been sitting here not reading either.
But you have been reading quite a bit lately.
I've had to.
Yeah.
Between D&D and school,
which I think a D&D what are they called? Dungeon guide? What are they called? What do they call those? Adventures? Modules. It's good. I think that's fairly good because I'm sure I would assume even if I was reading those, there's going to be some words I was like, I'm not sure what that means. So I'd have to look it up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't mean like monsters.
Yeah, there was a word they used yesterday. I can't remember what the word is, but it basically is like another word for investigate. I was like, why the fuck didn't you just use the word investigate? Why did you use this word? I was really mad.
Probably has a slight meaning.
Oh, they also
variation of the meaning.
They use this word 1,000 times. Do you know what a fresco is?
Yeah, it's like a painting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. And they use that word all the time. And then there's another one that's something. It's 2 words.
Crepuscule.
No, something base.
Now you're just trying too hard.
It's called something base, and I had never heard that word either, and it's referring to a different kind of piece of art. But they use it all the time. All the time. Just say fucking painting.
Well, I think a fresco is different than a painting. It is a painting, but it's like
a type of painting.
No, I don't think it's a type. I think it's I don't know. I honestly don't know. But words, yes, is a fresco painting 100%. But somebody came up with the word fresco to describe something that was a little bit different than a painting. You know what I mean?
The thing that's frustrating in the modules specifically, I get it when you got to use words different for investigate,
yeah.
whatever. But the thing about it in the module is it's like, this is a really important painting that you have to describe to your players. If I'm not smart and know how to use Google and I don't know what a fresco is, like you walk up to a fresco that depicts this and one of the players goes, what's a fresco? And you're like, I don't know.
Kind of like a LaCroix, I think.
It's a can of carbonated water.
Oh man, Dre, you got to play Red Dead Online with us. It's a shit ton of fun.
School's over a week from tomorrow.
Dude, I was going through the hairstyles the other day. God damn, your hipster cowboy is going to look ridiculous.
I'm so excited.
You just get the stubble. Don't do what Justin did. Justin was all, the stubble's not long enough, so it's not the beard. But so then he had like a bushy beard, almost like mine right now. It's like, that's not you. It doesn't even look like you. And he's like, well, the stubble's not long enough. And it's like, but you don't have a beard. You can't have a beard if you don't have a fucking beard. But he found one that works okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I wish you could just import your character from GTA Online and use their face.
I did.
It does look pretty close. But yeah, I see, because there's one where the sides are cut. And like if you put the hair pomade in, it just like freaking just a full on.
It's like Brendan Urie.
Oh man, it's like freaking hard hipster.
I can't wait for my hipster cowboy.
Stubble, so just like the 5 o'clock shadow. But then there are so many clothing options that is just like the hipster plaid. Oh yes. The vests are just like a purple and red and blue plaid with the watch hanging
rolled
off
up
of it.
sleeves.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna look like such a fucking hipster.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be weird, man. I'm always dirty. Rich as a Mexican. This guy looks like a modern cowboy, and then we're going to have a hipster cowboy.
You're like, where's Trey? And I'm jumping in a river to get like a smudge of dirt off me.
You roll up on your freaking perfectly white horse.
He's wearing clothes.
Like a fucking horse sweater. Oh my God, I want horse sweaters in Red Dead Online.
A fucking Laura Bailey on Critical Role in one of the early episodes, she talks about how she had a horse that she bought horse clothes for. Everyone's like, wait, hold on, there's horse clothes?
I didn't know that. I didn't know they made clothes for horses.
Yeah, Jester is the fucking best.
Jester was talking about that?
Yeah, she's talking about how she was so rich she bought clothes for her horse.
Laura wasn't talking about it. Jester was. Okay, I get it.
I was skipping on her character's name.
Got it. That's funny.
Oh, man.
That's really funny.
They were talking about one more thing from Critical Role. They were talking about the dark underbelly of the city. And Ford was like, do you know anything about like the dark underbelly of the city so that we can avoid it? And Jester goes, or it's furry and we can pet it. And it was great.
Jester's a good character. Ford and Jester are still the best characters. I'm nowhere near caught up, but I still think
I really like
characters.
Not. But I also, part of the thing is
I think you like Not because everybody likes Sam.
I'm really biased towards Sam. Like I was rewatching the video that Matt Colville did yesterday of the finale of Critical Role.
Yeah, the decision, the epic Sam decision.
Yeah, and it really like I teared up. It's really sad to see the way that Sam reacted to it. So I think part of my love for Not is because I just have a really soft spot in my heart.
I think,
for Sam.
and I think if you were to take Not and just take Sam out of the equation, Not's not a very good character. She's okay, but Sam makes her great.
Well, and that's the thing though, like with Sam specifically, it's also been like a journey with me and Sam because I hated Scanlan at the beginning.
I loved Scanlan.
I learned to love him, but at the beginning I could not stand
Yeah.
Scanlan. And then, like 30 episodes in, you're like, oh, Scanlan's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love it. Yeah, even if they didn't take Scanlan down the whole like serious route where he finds his daughter and does all that shit and becomes like, a respectable human being, if he just would have stayed Scanlan Shorthalt, the fucking, third tripod dick fucking guy, whatever you want to call him, like, I love that character so much, which is weird. I usually don't
Scanlan is not.
I usually don't. Yeah, I usually don't like asshole characters.
Like if I were to say like your top character from Critical Role season 1, and I know he's not your top character, I would say it would be Vax.
Yeah, not at all.
But you like Scanlan way more than Vax. You think Vax is like a whiny baby.
He is a whiny baby. See, there's two different edgelords. There's Vax, who is just go back to Hot Topic, dude, and just spend your day in Hot Topic.
I think there's 3 because I feel like Talison's character at the beginning of season 2. Molly Mock. I think Molly Mock is that other side of edgelord.
I don't know if Molly Mock's an edgelord. I got much more flamboyancy from Molly Mock than I did edgelord.
I feel like he's all. You would also find him in Hot Topic.
Maybe. But Vax is just like go back to Hot Topic. But then the other side, which is like the cool side of edgelord, you have Arkin, who's just.
I'm sorry. Did you just throw yourself into the?
Hell yeah, I did. Because Arkin's a fucking awesome character. Do you admit that he's an awesome character? Tell the truth.
I think that Arkin...
I only interacted with Arkin in his end game.
Oh, that's very.
I think Arkin. Let's stop the show and I will express my opinion about Arkin.
Okay, bye everybody.
You were talking to your mic. I was like, "Are we still going?"
I thought we were going.
Yeah, we're still going. Everett hasn't
Goodbye,
decided.
everybody.
I mean, yeah, but he can edit.
Of course he can edit it, but why would he? This is a
Because
good.
this is like
That's a great.
3-hour
This is a great ending ever. Greatest ending ever.